I just noticed.
Yes, the answer is yes. I am recording the meeting. All right, so let's move ahead. Pat, go ahead and take a minute. Tell us what you're up to.
What I'm up to? Well, I saw Kevin Kiley has abandoned the Republican Party. There are a lot of cracks in the Republican Party. It's kind of interesting. Carl DeMaio down here in San Diego is very controversial amongst Republicans because he is a very successful fundraiser. I sent a press release test teaser, whatever. Should we ask Kevin Kiley to join the Libertarian Party? And actually, the comments, if you think about it, were kind of good. It's like, why just Kevin Kiley? The Republican Party as a whole is starting to sink as Republicans realize that their party is the party of war and fascism. And how do we take advantage of that? So I learned something that sometimes I'm not always right. Usually I'm not right. So I appreciate we should invite people because the Republican Party is really cracked. And so how do we take advantage of, I hate to say take advantage, but, and if you're a Republican who believes in free markets, where do you go? So sorry, Star Child. I'm not aiming to the left. I'm aiming to the right. And it's Mr. Star Child in my mind, because don't think of elephants. It's now, don't think of Mr. Star Child. Sorry. Star Child, you're one of my favorites. But you put that in my mind, not me. So anyway, it's an opportunity, but
It
it's
was
also,
in print in the agenda, so
I'm
that's where it
sorry,
came
but
from.
now I always think of Mr. Star Child, and it's your fault.
There
Just
are a lot of liberty-leading Republicans floating around out there who feel homeless, and
Yes,
our
so
willingness to have conversations with those guys is
we
valuable.
have to have those conversations. So that's my 1 minute. Ding.
Thank you very much. Rebecca.
Hello. Yeah, I've been extremely busy and I'm extremely behind on all of my work. And in fact, I have not even unpacked from the convention.
Oh,
But
good Lord.
it'll be done by next month.
The
Well, all right,
unpacking.
fair enough. We believe in you, Rebecca. All right. Mike, I guess you're the treasurer now.
Okay,
Mike.
yeah. I've got access. I've got full access to QuickBooks. We're well into the process of switching the last bank account to me to have control over, and then I'll be able to actually do my job as treasurer. Alameda goes. We recently had a website crash. We got it recovered, but we're having a social this coming Friday. 8 people are signed up so far. Joe may be there as well. He would be 9 because he wants our endorsement. We have a huge event this coming weekend for St. Patrick's Day. It's basically a street fair, and we're gonna have a booth there, and we have the button maker for that. Elizabeth has the button maker, and I'll make sure that she returns it in time for the national convention.
Well, that or I'll just have Elizabeth make buttons for the national convention.
That
So
that
it'll
could
be
work
like,
too. That could
yeah,
work too.
sure, absolutely.
can you post the details on that, Mike, or send them out by email for where, when, etc.
For the social or for the St. Patrick's Day? I'll do both. I'll do
Both, both
Yeah,
actually,
okay.
but
Yeah, I'll post it to the
definitely
chat
for
just a second.
Yeah, just start in the chat. Absolutely. That's great. Thank you. Joe, what's happening in the north?
Okay, so well, since the convention, following up on the convention, I worked on posting various things. I made a lot of updates to Elpedia about the convention itself, about the new executive committee, things like that. I posted a bunch of photographs from the convention. But the main thing I've been doing in the meantime is working on tracking who is qualifying as candidates. And that process is now complete. As of last Friday was the filing deadline. And I am sort of happy, but also not totally happy to report that we have 7 candidates that qualified or appear to have qualified for the ballot as libertarians in the primary. That's a lot, a lot better than it could have been, but I wish it had been higher. And then personally, I was part of that by completing my filing for the 17th congressional district, and I did that last week. So that's basically what I've been working on, and I do hope to be able to attend the Alameda County meeting. I'm not totally sure I will be able to, but I am.
I was
I'm
going to
looking
ask.
forward to. I am hoping to.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Would you rather put me down as part of your reservation in case, or?
Yeah, if you're reasonably sure that you'll be there, I'll add you and we'll make 9 because I do want to make sure that we have enough table space.
Okay, I am planning to, but I can't guarantee it. Let's put
Okay.
it that way.
this is the one at the steakhouse, right?
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one at the steakhouse, which
Hey,
I've never been
there's
to.
a steak, Joe. You gotta go.
Yeah, it just depends
Yeah,
on how
and
I'm
Minnie doesn't
feeling
look
about
super
other things.
vegetarian friendly.
They do have vegan options.
Well, they probably have
But I
salad or
don't know what they
something.
are.
All right, let's move along.
They
The
have menus online.
hey, menu online. Mary Beth, tell us about the central area for a minute.
Central area, mainly active areas still, Fresno, Monterey. Apparently, we're going to try again to get Kern County. I got a message from you today. So far, my efforts have been without any juice behind it. We are starting in Fresno County a voter guide that I'll be involved with that, along with our other members. And still have in the back of my mind that we should be doing some kind of central valley or central area type of social event or educational event. Just trying to talk about that in our local meeting tomorrow. So nothing solidified, but we do have some funds to use, so we'll use them if we can. I'm thinking of a speaker. See.
Okay. All right. The Brandon.
Um, yeah, so I guess in San Diego we're creating a door hanger for our candidates and then governor, Board of Equalization. So we're gonna have kind of areas where we have like an assembly or congressional or city council candidate. Uh, the flyer will have on one side kind of like libertarian ideals, federal, state, and then local goals, and on the back side it'll have all the candidates in the area. So we're planning on sending that out probably the next month or so. And then the Young Americans for Liberty stuff is we're going to campuses tomorrow, hitting some, and then um, yeah, that's kind of about it. We have a full committee now for San Diego Young Americans for Liberty, which is like 4 people, including me. So San Diego's officially started up in that, and then we're working on LA, and then hopefully it expand out from there. But that's kind of been it.
Right on. Okay. Let me know as that starts to approach Riverside. Francisco, you're first on our at-large list.
Yeah, hi. So, like Mary Beth mentioned here in Fresno, we've got that voter guide that we've tried or that we're working on. Um, I've also got a list of different events, local events here. I did reach out to Tom Woodard. So hopefully we could plan out an event out here at one of those events and bring him out here and host them here in Fresno in the central area. So we'll talk about that tomorrow at our county meeting. Did everybody? Another thing is the translation of the press release. Now, as far as the press release goes, I know the conversation was about the package that we bought, of it being, what was it, 5 or 6 press releases. Does that include a translation, or is the translation included as one press release, or would that be considered 2 separate releases? But if we go forward with press releases, I mean, I'm more than willing to translate them to Spanish.
It's an interesting question. I suspect there's a dodge there where if we just put them both together and called it a press release, it would be a press release. But Mimi, you had your hand up. Do you have a sense of how that would work?
Yeah, we're limited to how many words are in a press release, and it goes out as a single release. I believe, and I'll double check on this, I believe that it already gets translated, but if not, I'll find out if it can. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's a good question. I will check into that tomorrow.
I think Mimi is
I'm
correct.
making myself a note.
But are we sending out that press release? I don't know.
No, I think the question was just simply about if we do that, right? I've got to double check that. I don't know. I think they ought. I think they do, but I'm not sure.
Usually they have a translation service into multiple languages.
Happily, we have an action item section of the agenda, so we'll add that to that.
Okay.
so that we can move that
Okay.
ahead. All right. Thank you, Francisco. June is not here. Mark.
Good evening. So Elizabeth Brierly and I work with Richard Michael, his Big Bad Bond website, to generate some ballot arguments against 3 measures in San Mateo County, 2 parcel taxes, 1 bond measure, and 4 tax measures in Santa Clara County, one of which we actually deferred to it's the Palo Alto Unified School District. We got wind that, like they approached us. There was a group of former Palo Alto Unified School District trustees who are mounting a campaign against a $800 a year parcel tax, which was supposedly down from $930. Turns out Palo Alto Unified School District apparently is very wealthy. I mean, apparently they've got over $100 million reserve. So their argument is this parcel tax is not needed at all. And so supposedly 2 or 3 former board members are signing on to the negative. So we're hoping that they'll crush that. And
Fantastic.
yeah, so anyhow, that's it.
Excellent. You'll be pleased to know, Mark, that I trotted down to the Riverside County Clerk and I got the details for tax measures that are going to happen in Riverside County. So it turns out I've got till the 16th to write my hateful screed about the temporary tax that is suddenly becoming permanent. Who knew? And so I'll get that dealt with here this next week. Wesley. Oh, sorry, Mark.
You know what Milton Friedman had to say about temporary taxes?
There's nothing more permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sad truth, but I'm gonna take my shot. So we'll see what happens. Wesley, what's going on?
I'm making a movie.
I've got you
Talk
on the
about
agenda.
that a little bit more here in a little bit.
All right. Okay, fair enough. Mimi.
Okay, so I've been doing a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about something that I enjoyed that I did. Last week, I went to Pierce College, which I do every semester. Brandon, sorry I didn't get a hold of you. It was a very last minute thing. She did it last minute. But that's where the professor there has somebody from each political party come and speak to the kids about our political parties. It's not a debate. It's an educational thing. And I really enjoyed it this time. We go into not breakouts. I said that like in Zoom, but after the first questions, everybody like splits off and goes to the whatever political party. And I had a lot of the kids coming to, yes, they're kids, there's college students coming over for the Libertarians, and there was a lot of interest, which I really found. It's not always the case. So I just love doing that so much. I love going and talking to kids, and so that was really fun. And
That's a great thing.
It's always a long day because Pierce College is not real close to my house, and you have to be there early-ish. But yeah, it's really fun. So that I kind of take that as like something different, not doing the drudgery of treasury and all of that stuff, but doing something fun. And I really enjoy that. And I think that it's really a good outreach for the party. So that's my win of the week.
Excellent. Being outward facing like that is critical. We all need to be doing it wherever you're at. Be talking to people. Absolutely. Dave.
So I'll take my 2 minutes to talk about membership activities. So I get excited when I can find a list that's actionable. So I had been talking last time and the time before about applying this RFM model, recency, frequency, monetary, to pick out the highest priority lapsed people. I have that for all parts of the state, but I'm mostly working with people who are willing to do up on calls. This month, I took what Lauren sends from National, which is all the people in the national database that are California members, and I intersected that with the state membership to come up with buckets like national members, lifetime or standard members, who are not even in Neon. That should be low-hanging fruit for recruitment. And then people who are national but lapsed California members. So I sent off 400 of those to Mark and Paul to cover parts of the state where we don't have counties doing calls. I gave 101 of them split up by the LA regions for LA County. About 100 of them went to Riverside. Jeff Hewitt's making calls. And then I sent Joe Dean a list of 72. So those activities all fit in the bucket of trying to grow membership. I will comment that the national database is in worse shape than Neon. There are several people who I know to be dead on their list, and yet they, month after month, highlight those to us. Also, trying to join people on first name and last name doesn't always work. So Tim Ferreira, for example, is Timothy in the national database, and Tim and ours are this person with the name of Honor Robson shows up as Mimi in the Neon one, but Honor in the other one. So there isn't really a good universal key. So I'll be sending a list of cleanups to the national people. So hopefully going ahead, we can get that straightened out.
Right on. So just to be clear, you said there were 400 names on that national list that are not presently members of the state party?
I didn't say that, but that would roughly be right. For LA, for example, there were 56 national members, not in Neon, and 47 lapsed members.
Wow.
Can I interject?
Okay. Quickly.
I ran it through too, and there's about 450 members who are not on my list, and I recognize a lot of them as being dead. So, and a lot of them as being duplicate. So it was not worthwhile to add them to the MailChimp list.
All right, fair enough.
But it makes me very nervous about the status of the national LP database.
Well, I mean, it's good that Dave, I'm glad you're looking at it to get it cleaned up.
Absolutely. So my numbers agree with Dave. Totally different approach to cleaning it up.
Well, as somebody's got to be looking, I appreciate Dave looking. There you go. All right, Richard.
So since last meeting, I met with a couple of youth groups, including a Cub Scout group and their parents. They asked me to come and speak to their children about civics, laws, spending, and inflation. So I integrated that with the defunct Venezuelan currency and gave each of the kids a pocket constitution and told them that they needed to square any law that they hear about or think they want to propose in the future with first the Constitution, and then use their bookmark that they had now as a million Bolivares note as a bookmark to remember that if it passes the constitutional test, then you got to ask if we can even afford it, because otherwise this will become our smallest denomination for currency note. And some of the parents came up and had some questions afterwards and got themselves their own little keepsake. But we also went out afterwards and did some street contacting with people in the area. And then I also did some more handouts and street contacting down in Fresno this last weekend while I was down there for work. So that is my minute.
Fantastic. At some point, I need to get $1 million Bolivar bookmark from you. Paul.
Yeah. Well, Dave just got the new list out here last week, I believe, and I was going to start working on membership calls this weekend, but unfortunately didn't get around to it, working on trying to do that this coming weekend. Also, our membership committee has not had a meeting yet since back in the previous convention, so I guess I'm taking on the volunteering to be the role of the chair pro tem to try and gather up some members here to have a meeting of the membership committee and actually elect a chair and see if we can go forward and figure out what all each person wants to be doing on the committee.
Fair enough. We'll talk committees a little bit later in the agenda too. Nick.
Forgive my ignorance, but I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
In theory, you should have gotten an email. If you didn't, I'll send it to you again. So the purpose of this right here at the front is for everybody to just take a minute and talk about something that they've done that's a win, like a cool thing that they're doing, a project they're presently involved in, that kind of thing. The hope is that this brings a positive forward-facing energy to the meeting, that we're all cheering for each other's wins on the way into the meeting instead of clawing at each other's faces, which has been an unfortunate feature of these meetings for a little bit. So, so that's kind of where we're at. So we'll forgive you this time, but watch ahead for
No, that's
next
all
time,
right.
please. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can just quickly chime in with.
Sure.
I missed the convention, unfortunately, but I missed it because we were in Vegas celebrating my father's 80th birthday. So that was my personal win this last month or so.
Right on. All right. Well, thank you very much. 80 is a good run.
Yeah, exactly.
The Star Shot.
Yeah, so doing a number of things. We had a demonstration for sex work rights, specifically against the loitering law, where they recriminalized loitering with intent to commit prostitution. This was outside the Democrats' state convention in San Francisco. And another group there, which was against Trump, had a big sound system set up. I got to speak on that for a little bit. I found out they were actually associated with a far left group called the Revolutionary Communist Party, but they let me speak and make libertarian points. So that was nice. Did some talking. I've been in contact with Tom about a possible speaking opportunity for him this coming Sunday in Alameda County. And also this venue may be possibly a place that we could use for future conventions. It's a church space, and they have, basically a large enough space, I think, for us. I'm going to look more into the logistics of that, but, it could potentially save us money over the hotels. They have a restaurant next door, which is like, we could work out some kind of food, beverage arrangement with them potentially. But this Sunday, I'm hoping to get Tom speaking there. I'm just waiting to hear back from my contact who's the co-organizer of it. I also just got a call today from a group backed by the Chamber of Commerce in San Francisco. They want to get our cooperation to let them be the official opponent to one of the ballot arguments for this tax increase measure that's going to be on the ballot. So we have an opportunity to negotiate, maybe get something in return from them. I'm looking for more of an ongoing strategic commitment from them to support libertarians of the freedom movement in some way, or beyond just this narrow measure, because there tends to be a problem of the groups will oppose measures in a very narrow, pragmatic way, just looking to defeat that particular measure, but not making the kinds of principled arguments that are going to be long-term wins. So I had a good conversation with the guy who's the chair of that No on D campaign. Also, I've been posting, let people know about a couple things on flock surveillance cameras. This is a big issue around the state right now because these local surveillance systems from this company called Flock Safety are being used to feed people's personal data, to federal agencies like ICE. And so there's pushback on that right now. The city of Richmond got rid of these cameras, but now there's a group trying to bring them back again. And the police chief there apparently falsely stated that they decreased crime. And I kind of was involved in a little bit of gotcha on X.com, where this guy who'd run for supervisor in San Francisco was posting against, saying, oh, the crime decreased in Richmond by 33%, when these cameras were put in or something. And it turns out he's an employee of Flock. He's like their public affairs director. Which
Yeah, that Flock stuff.
So
Flock, if Flock's not in your town, it's coming. These Flock camera guys, they're trying to contract with police departments all up and down the state, all across the country. That's about as Orwellian as it gets, for sure.
Last thing I mentioned real quick is there's an interesting space in San Francisco now called Frontier Tower. It's kind of a 16-floor office building that's been turned into sort of a big multidisciplinary maker space. They've got like floors for different pursuits. Like there's one for longevity, there's one for cryptocurrency, one for biohacking, et cetera, et cetera. And I made some good contacts there, and I put some literature there. And also looking into becoming a member. If you're a member, then you can have also sponsor events there. And they also have a big space that could potentially be even a convention site for us. So I feel it's a great space to make contacts and spread the word about libertarianism. A lot of the tech people that are involved there are libertarian leaning, and I've got some good connections there.
Right on. Alrighty. Well, thank you all. Sounds like great stuff. Lots of good stuff going on there. Keep going. 100%. Let's go to the next thing. What's our next thing? Minutes from last meetings. I think, Rebecca, you have a motion here.
Hello. Hey, I'd like to move to postpone approving the minutes next month.
All right, we have a motion to postpone the approval of the minutes to next month.
I second.
Seconded by Mimi. Is there any objection to postponing the approval of the minutes to next month?
Do we have a choice?
We'll just,
No, you could. I might
Not
have
really.
some of them, but I don't think you've got. I think I do have some of the old ones, like from the actual last month, and like.
let's just make
But
sure that
yeah, you're
Rebecca's
probably
got
better
everything
off
all
doing
lined
it
up
all
proper, and we'll just do it next month. So
And
that
I
being the
also think
case,
that we should see them before the actual meeting to actually approve them, especially convention. So this
given that
makes
there's going to be a bunch,
more
yeah.
sense no matter what.
All right, fair enough.
So I'm speaking
So,
to my motion.
Rebecca, can you get those like by the end of the month so
Yeah.
that we can all have seen them? All right, cool. All right. So that being so, any objection to postponing that then?
Can you just clarify which ones they are that are still pending? There's the convention itself. There's the
convention.
post-convention meeting. Is there any previous one before that?
The special meeting we had last week. I mean, there really isn't much. It's the minutes are, let's see, February, the convention, the post convention, and the special meeting. So
Okay.
there's 4 minutes.
So 4.
Alrighty. So, once again, any objection to postponement? All right, we'll postpone that. All right, that throws us into public comment. The wildest moment of any libertarian meeting, like a box of chocolates. Is there anyone in the public that would like to say something at this meeting?
I don't know if you would or not, but I would like to mention, as I did in the chat, we've got a guest here from San Francisco, Hunter, who's new to the Libertarian Party and seems quite enthused about getting more involved here. So I was excited.
Welcome,
to,
Hunter. We appreciate your attendance and your enthusiasm. There you go.
And I
Okay.
did wonder who that was.
Well, I'm glad you identified him, Star Child, so that we don't have to play Found the Fed here on our participant list tonight. Okay. So the if there's no I'm not seeing any hands go up. I think we're good on public comment. So let's move ahead into the treasurer's report. Mike and or Mimi, as you guys are in transition right now, so to speak.
Yeah, so Mike and I had a meeting the other day, and because we're still in the transition, we just had our first training session. We agreed that I would do an outgoing treasurer's report, which I sent out last night, I believe. And also I realized there had been treasurer's reports that weren't actually attached to the minutes. I guess I didn't send them out, so I sent those out as well. So I'm going to do the 5-minute treasurer amount. I'm going to do 4 minutes and 30 seconds and let Mike take the last 30 seconds. I'm just that kind of person. So I hope that you guys looked at the treasurer's report. There's a lot there, but there's a couple things here that I think we need to talk about. So one of them is that we have these like legacy things in QuickBooks. I went through and I have actually now balanced all the checking accounts to, what's in the bank matches what's in QuickBooks. I went through, I was able to update all of the suspense items and reconcile those. And we have like these weird things. So one of the things is that in the past, counties, when they become disorganized, in other words, like they have a bank account, but they don't have enough people to continue their organization, they send the money to the state, which the state party then holds in trust until they reorganize. Right now, we've got this like standing balance of $1,542.76, which is Nevada County, San Bernardino County, and Yolo County. All of those have been sitting there for several years. What we don't have is anything that says when that just goes back into our general fund, because it's like just sitting there in trust for something that may or may not happen. So I don't know if, I didn't propose a motion for this. I think that it probably will need some kind of a special rule of order. But I think that after a certain amount of time, kind of like what we do with dues sharing, like after, we only hold it in trust for a year, I think that we should put something like that in there for that, just so we don't have this like weird asset sitting on the books that is just there. We have a similar thing with we've got right now a $33,135.19 asset, which is for AV assets. And that was things that we actually owned, which were projectors and cameras and things like that, which it appears aren't here anymore. I mean, we did find the Mevo camera, but we didn't find the projectors, we didn't find the screens, we didn't find any of that stuff. So I think that probably we need to take that off the books as well. And I think that that would probably require a motion, which I'm not making tonight. I'm just kind of throwing it out there so that maybe we can talk about those two things quickly. So then, beyond that, I've given the balances. So as of today, we had $90,864.77 in the LPC account, $6,776.12 in the FPPC account, $26,014.91 in the FEC account, for a total of $123,655.80. And then this is exciting to me, and nobody else will probably be excited, but I'm excited. I have finally been able to fix the FEC stuff. I was able to actually meet with and do a Zoom meeting with the FEC to get all of our filings up to date, to get our FEC file software working, and to actually do all the reports that were missing because we couldn't do it because we have to file electronically and we weren't able to. So I'm really super excited about that. Like I said, nobody else might be, but I'm excited. So anyways, when I took on the treasurer's role last October, what I wanted to do was get our books in order because they were really, really, really messed up. I believe that I've done that. And so I'm really looking forward to working with Mike. We had a really good meeting. I think that it's going to be great. I think he really wants to make sure things go forward properly. And I think it's going to be a really good transition. So that is my outgoing treasurer report.
Fantastic. Mike, would you like to add something? And then Star Child has his hand up with a question.
I don't have anything to add. Just thank you, Mimi, for all that you've done.
Excellent. All right, Star Child, you have your hand up. What's up?
Yeah, I was just noting on the issue of us losing this various equipment, things Mimi mentioned, we don't know where they are. This is, a good example, I think, of stuff we should be information keeping again on the website. That we have
I don't know
record of where things are.
how keeping it on the website would have made it not get disappeared. I don't understand. I mean, it's like there was stuff that was transitioned that was actual physical assets. On the website or not, we have a list of what the things were, but
do we have a list of
what is listing it on the website?
Well, do we have a list of who had custody? And that would be kind of the question is like, well, if it was in a central place where everybody could look and see, oh, well, we have a projector and Joe has the projector or whatever, then we know we have some point of reference to go to find where these things are when we need to use them. Both
I don't
you
have
and,
an answer other than to say they were transitioned to a person in 2023. They weren't transitioned to another person in 2020,
They didn't make it.
It's, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I think would be really great to start keeping on the website or, in some central repository that's accessible to everyone, but the website seems like the logical place for this kind of stuff is speaking contacts. Both you and I think it was Wesley or Mike mentioned, outreach and speaking at college groups, this kind of thing. Those kind of contacts are golden. I mean, I'm always asking people. If I run into somebody that works at a school or something, or know somebody who works at a school, I was like, hey, see if they can, ever have guest speakers come in and talk about, I'm happy to talk about the LP or libertarianism more broadly, or specific issues that are pro-freedom issues. Those
That
contacts.
sounds like a
we want
conversation to be had with the communications
Yeah.
committee, to them to keep records in their
And
shared space.
and final, just a quick note, maybe if you could remember, or if anybody else has Maria's phone number, I'm on the website committee and I have not been able to speak directly with our webmaster. I'd like to, give her some of these ideas and work on helping getting the website fixed and making sure everybody has access to be able to post the calendar and stuff.
I think we're gonna
but
re-up
I have
all the
something
committees
for
tonight.
that, actually.
Okay.
No, I have something about that because right now she's exhausted her contract of what
Sorry, Mimi?
we've paid for. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
I
Yeah,
hear
we've
you.
exhausted our contract. Well, okay, we've exhausted our contract with her right this second. And when we get to the website and IT committee report, I do have a suggestion that the CSC transition to the maintenance proposal that she had. But right now, she's not our webmaster at this moment because we've exhausted our contract. And also, Starchild, I told you I don't give people phone numbers without permission, so I gave you her email address. I don't do
Did you
that.
ask her to? Did you pass along my number to her? Ask her to call me, or
No,
ask her to
because we have to continue her contract first. So I'm not trying to be pissy here. It's just that right now we don't even have a contract with her. So no, right now, until we do that and she goes on to be our ongoing person, she's not doing anything. So right now, that's where we're at.
Who is handling access to the website? Who's the point person, or is there a point person for the website?
Well, we're going to
Just
re-up
the website committee.
and we're going to re-up all those committees tonight, and
Yeah,
then that
I'm on the
communication can
website
happen,
committee.
and that communication can happen amongst that committee. That communication doesn't need to happen here. That conversation doesn't need to happen here. We have other
Correct.
business to attend to here, and the
And that's
website
also
committee
not
can
the
continue to
treasurer's
sort this out
report
amongst
at
themselves.
all.
Yeah.
That's not the treasurer's report. We'll get to the website.
Yeah,
committee
no,
report, right?
Okay, so let's.
I wanted to not forget that, and because it's been an ongoing issue.
We're going to re-up the committees tonight, and you can continue to take it up within that committee there. Let's talk about this thing here. Following. Oh, any other further questions or comments on the treasurer's report?
No, just thank you. I know it's a lot of work.
It is a lot. All right, let's go ahead and move to this purchase of the laptop thing. We chatted about this just a little bit. Joe had questions.
No, the next thing is endorsement of candidates.
I had just tacked this on because it was a money thing, so I just put it right behind the treasurer's report.
Oh, okay. I don't really care.
I have endorsement of candidates right after this.
Well, how much money is involved? Can't be that much.
We're talking about $300.
Oh, just screw it. Do it. Approve it.
So, Mimi, do you want to? Is there a motion of some sort that we want to deal with here? Do you want to quickly take a minute and just lay this out again?
Yeah, so give me 2 seconds because I have to admit I wasn't looking at that at that moment.
Petty
Give me
cash.
just 1 second. Well, no, there's no such thing as petty cash in.
Oh, I feel so old. There was in my time.
Well, there's not now. So yeah, so it was like $328, and at the time we realized we needed something to be able to do the credentialing, and there wasn't anything. So Wes found a really cheap laptop at the local Home Depot or not Home Depot, whatever it was. Staples, what was it? Staples. We went over, we asked Lauren, he said he'd put it on his chair's discretionary fund so that we could buy it. We bought it, we used it, we still have it, we own it. I believe that Lauren has it with him at his house somewhere.
I do in fact have it. It has not been lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it should be put as an actual physical asset as opposed to, something that doesn't exist that's just a chair's discretionary fund thing, which is why I suggested that we approve that it gets moved over to the correct GL account. So I'm going to make the motion to do that.
Second.
All right, fair enough. So the motion here is to move the purchase of that laptop from chair's discretionary spending into the proper GL account. And that's been seconded. Is there an objection to us doing that? All right, fair enough.
Could you restate the motion again, Lauren?
The motion is to move this purchase of the laptop, the category of the purchase, out of chair's discretionary spending and into the appropriate GL account. I don't know what the appropriate GL account is, but it will go into another GL account. Yeah. So that's been moved and seconded. And so is there an objection to doing that? All right, fantastic. All right, we'll go ahead and move forward with that. Thank you, Mimi. All right, so that brings us to endorsement of candidates. So, does someone want to endorse a candidate?
I would like to move that we endorse Antonio Salguero, and he is here, and I would like to hear from him before we do the actual motion, if that's possible.
I think that sounds reasonable. Antonio, would you like to take a couple of minutes and tell us about yourself and what you're doing?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Hold on.
Oh, and tell us what you're running for and where exactly that's at. That's probably important.
You're muted, Antonio.
And you're on.
All right, how you doing? Good evening. Yeah, my name is Antonio Salguero. I'm running for Assembly District 78 here in San Diego. This is my second time running for the legislature. The last time was in 2018. Top 3 issues I have is state spending, taxation, and then obviously the economy. And I am a business owner, so I do have quite a bit of experience when it comes to business regulations, not just in my industry, but in general. I do hire quite a bit of people. And those are my top 3 focuses. There's other issues at hand that I want to get addressed, such as family and family court, obviously Second Amendment. But the main thing is taxation, spending, and deregulation.
Who's the incumbent?
It's Christopher Ward. He was elected back in 2020. Yeah, I know.
He's a total hypocrite. He has no moral character. Oh,
yeah,
just my opinion.
He claims to want to reduce the cost of living in California, but he just voted on the mileage tax.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He has no value. He has no character.
No.
It doesn't sound like you're very sorry about that, Pat.
No, believe me, I've dealt with all these assembly people, and Chris Ward is one of my least favorite. I've dealt with all 119 current assembly members, and he's probably about my 90th least favorite.
Fair enough. All right. Looks like Star Child has his hand up, and then Mimi. So we'll do some questions for Antonio. Star Child.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. Are you libertarian on the civil liberties issues? And I hope you will emphasize some of those issues in your campaign, because there's a real problem with our outreach for the party and to some extent the larger libertarian movement over the years, where we tend to appeal more to people on the right than to people on the left. And this, I think, contributed to the past few years, us actively facing a takeover by people who were pro-Trump in the party. And I think we're still vulnerable to that. If we want to maintain, I think, our sustainability as a libertarian organization, it's really important that we maintain our ability to appeal to people roughly equally on the right and the left. And so I'm wondering what issues you might focus on in your campaign or could emphasize that would appeal to Democrats and left-leaning folks.
Yeah, so I think, again, my top 3 issues were state spending, taxation, and deregulation. I believe those are like the main issues most Californians are facing that are increasing the cost of living. And to kind of address, like if I'm going to appeal to either side more, I'm assuming this is a heavily Democratic district. I think the Democrats outnumber the Republicans 3-1. So, and here's a little bit of an update too. There's a Republican that jumped into the race last minute. So my whole strategy was to appeal to the Republicans just by naturally being a libertarian and having some of those pro right-wing positions like the Second Amendment. But really what I was trying to do is focus on the Democrats. I really need to, take votes away from the Democrats and get some of the votes from the independents. I've been Libertarian since I've been involved. As a matter of fact, the first time I ran for office in 2018 was as a Libertarian, and I haven't left the party. Um, some of the issues are, like I said, family court. That's going to be a little difficult to appeal to the left, but I think it is important. Other stuff is criminal justice. The criminal justice is going to appeal to the leftists quite a bit. And I do have a public safety background. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that libertarian like criminal justice, like nonviolent crimes off the books. And I think I think that's going to be my biggest sell to Democrats. Is like, hey, outside of affordability and deregulation and spending, let's do some of the criminal justice reforms that we need. And I'm still developing other policies. I definitely want to have an education policy, but I need to do more research, and I do want to talk to some more informed people.
I'd be happy, Antonio, to talk with you directly. If I'll post my number in the chat, or you're welcome to call me or send me your number about how you could craft some platform things to appeal to people on the left. Yeah, especially if you're in a Democrat majority district, I think that's really what you should try to focus on for more balance in our party and the movement. Not that the fiscal issues and gun rights don't matter, they do, but that preserving that balance is super important. Do you speak Spanish?
I do, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a really good, also avenue to connect with people that should be surprised. We're the most pro, immigrant party in this country, basically, but we aren't getting the message out and connecting with people in the immigrant communities as much as we should be to really let them know that we're there with them and get that support.
Yeah, and one of my outreach plans, I have equipment that I purchased to do like a podcast, like a video podcast, and that's going to be integrated into my campaign website because I really do want to be able to explain a lot of these issues. I really do believe that the era of like the podcast politician is among us, and I think that's going to be the best way for libertarians to reach out to the voters. We've obviously we can preach to the choir talking to other libertarians and some Republicans, but we really need to start attacking the Democrats' numbers, and I want to be able to do that with like long form podcasts talking about the policies.
I'd be happy to come on as a guest if you want to have me anytime.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, if I may add, Chris Ward is one of my favorites of the least authentic politicians in Sacramento. And so, Antonio, I'm a neighbor of yours. You've been to my front door.
Yep.
If you need a website, let me know. However I can help you. But yeah, Chris Ward is a total phony. He pretends to care about people, but he doesn't. He cares about labor unions and special interests and Democrats. He does not care about the average person.
And he's never had competition either.
Oh,
no, actually, you would be surprised that the Democratic Party has its favorites, and they allow other people to run. And I've talked to other people. I because in the Ferret Club, I know a lot of people have run for office, and he is the owner of that district. And any Democrat who opposes him is just token. So, and they know that too. It's all predetermined. This is like a Cuban election.
Yep.
So Chris Ward is a Cuban. I mean, he's fake, phony, and he doesn't really care about people.
Well, all right.
If I want you to help
Cuban
you, I will
Ward.
help you.
Okay,
Really
so
good at
let's move ahead to some questions here. Mimi, you have a question. You have your hand up, and then Joe.
Well, I didn't actually have a question. I've actually known Antonio for a while. He was a previous chair of San Diego. He's run for office in the past. He's a very principled libertarian, in my opinion. I strongly suggest that we endorse him. And originally he was talking about running for governor. I think that what he's running for now is a better fit because it's going to probably get more, it's unfortunate that, somebody else jumped in at the last minute on the Republican side, but I think that he can probably get more traction with this. I think that, the governor race, no offense to Tom, is very, very lots of people running and, we're not going to get as much traction there. So I'm just basically speaking in favor of endorsement because, he's doing this. He did this with his own money, right? He's going to be on the ballot, and I think that he's going to do us proud in San Diego. So I just am speaking very strongly to us just simply endorsing him. I'm obviously not going to call the question because Joe Dean wants to, ask something, but I'd like us to just get through this and just to endorse him.
Well, I don't see
and
any
we
other
can
hands.
resend the letter tomorrow.
Sure thing.
I can't figure out how to raise my hand.
Yeah.
I
have
don't
a
see it.
question.
Okay, well, Joe is next,
Well, you've
and then we'll
already
come to you
butted in
guys.
a few
So I
times.
have a very simple question. Do you have a campaign website? I haven't seen it.
So here's the issue. I had one for my campaign for governor. When I went back to the same bank to open up a bank account for the assembly race, they changed the requirements. And so at this time, I'm just waiting on the Secretary of State to issue their articles of incorporation for an unassociated business. So I'm just waiting on that. And the first thing I'm going to do as soon as I get that is go back to my bank. They're just waiting for that last document.
Do you have a campaign website?
I do have a website. It's all drafted. I just can't activate it. Legally.
What does that mean? Because you have to put the number on, or?
No, because I have to pay for it through a separate bank account for the campaign. And so if I don't have a bank account to pay for it, I can't publish it.
I can get it to you for $15. So
No, but he's saying you can't spend any money on it.
I can't spend any money until I get that bank account.
I'll donate $15 to your campaign.
Okay. So looks
Can't
like Joe,
accept
the
it.
answer. So Joe, the answer to your question is the website is coming as soon as this number arrives.
Do you know what the URL is going to be so I can look for it?
Yeah, it's going to be antonioforassembly.com.
Is that the numeral 4?
No, it's going to be spelled out.
FOR. Okay.
FOR assembly.
Yes.
Right, Antonio, who's the Republican?
It's Peyton Galvez. It's actually one of Carl DeMaio's volunteers. But I don't know if he's going to get endorsed, and I don't know if he's going to qualify for the ballot. So I'm looking every day to see if he's qualified on the ballot. There's a possibility he might not.
Carl DeMaio has a pretty powerful political machine in San Diego.
Yeah, don't even where that. Yeah,
That's okay. There's room for a libertarian still. Let's go libertarian be on the ballot.
Carl DeMaio ain't no libertarian.
All right. So the Star Child, unless it's critical, can we go ahead and move to a vote on this?
Just one quick question.
Quickly.
Antonio, do you have any positions that are at odds with the Libertarian platform or party that we should be aware of?
I'll say this. Last time I took the political quiz, I mean, I got a 99 libertarian. I'm like pretty much an anarcho capitalist.
Well, all right, there we are. Okay. With that being the case, I think Joe's question is answered. I think Star Child's question is answered. I don't see any more hands up. Let's go ahead and take this to a vote. Let's go ahead and roll call this because Antonio deserves to know. So, Rebecca, would you please roll call this vote? The question before us is, shall the Libertarian Party of California endorse the candidacy of Antonio Salguero for Assembly District, what?
78.
78. All right.
Okay.
So, Rebecca, whenever you're ready.
All right, Pat.
Yes, and if you need any help, let me know.
Okay,
I'm
me.
your neighbor.
I vote yes. Mike.
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Mary Beth. Did she leave?
I believe she left. I think she had to go.
I noted that in the I noted that in the chat. She left a while ago.
Okay. Brandon.
Ooh, yeah.
Francisco.
Yes.
And June is not here. Mark.
C.
Wesley.
Yes.
Mimi.
I vote yes.
Dave.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
And Nick.
Yes.
All right, let's see. I think that's everything. There's only one at large. Oh wait, Lauren.
Yes.
Me? Do I get a vote?
No, Star Child does not get to vote.
Well, if there's June and Mary Beth are both gone, wouldn't I be seated?
Only June
Mary
is gone.
Beth is, Mary Beth is a area coordinator, you don't
Oh,
swap
oh,
in
right,
for
right.
her. You
Excuse me.
swap in only for at large.
All right. So regardless, where are we at then, Rebecca?
Yeah, there was 14 guesses and 0 no's.
Well, all right. Go get them, Antonio. We'll get the endorsement letter to San Diego County updated, and it'll get sent off tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
I have a question for Mimi, I guess. We have a bunch of endorsed candidates now. We have 7 candidates on the ballot, as far as we know. Can we get them listed on the website?
Yeah, I need to do that. I'd like to get to the thing with the CSC to be able to do that. So yeah, I want to do that.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. So let's. Are there any other endorsement of candidates that we want to try and deal with here tonight? All right. Hearing none, let's move ahead. Next on the agenda is the LNC Convention 2026 delegate additions and approvals. There were a few people left over from the state convention that needed to take care of a verification of some sort. Rebecca, do you have any updates on that?
I have not. None have emailed me, and I haven't reached out to them either. And I don't think anyone even filled out the form in the last month.
Oh,
I
fantastic.
get emails whenever people fill out the form. I don't think anyone's filled it out. I mean, they could fill it out if they want to, but
Can you give us the names just so that we've got them for going
the
forward?
names of the people, I'll reach out to them. Let me see. Let me pull up the draft.
Can I chime in real quick? Because I've already reached out to the people that are on that list.
They haven't messaged me.
Okay. So the only person on the list of the people that were at the convention that were not added was Jose Castaneda. And he had actually renewed his membership prior, but he didn't get an email. I've verified with National that he is in fact a National member. I would like to add him. The other people that were on that list were Gail Lightfoot, who I've not been able to get a hold of. Angela, which was Ed Wimmer's wife, does not want to be a delegate. So my motion is to add Jose Castaneda as a delegate.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor then to add Jose Castaneda as a delegate. Mimi's vouching that he's verified the assorted verifications. So is there a
second?
We have a second for that from Mark. Is there any objection to doing that? Okay. Rebecca, if you would then take care of adding Jose Castaneda to the list.
So what's the issue with Gail? You don't have verification that she's a member?
No, she's not currently a national member, and I've reached out to her as well as several other people, and she is still not showing up as a national member. She has to be a national member in order to be a delegate, and she's not responding to emails. So I hope she's okay, but I haven't been able to get a hold of her.
All right.
Okay.
Can we provisionally make her a member? I'm sure with Gail Lightfoot, I mean, she's been a dedicated Libertarian for so long. I'm sure that if she hasn't been a national member, it's probably just an oversight or something. I don't know.
No, we can't do that, but we've got plenty of time to do it before the convention. We can't do that because that's against the bylaws.
I also, on my way home from the state convention, I had lunch with Boomer Shannon, who couldn't make it to the convention, but he still wants to be a delegate. And I think that much like Gail, I think that Boomer is somebody that we can be pretty well assured meets the requirements. But I'll see to those checks this month, and we'll bring him back in front of everybody next month.
I will actually move to make Boomer a delegate. I've already checked his national and state membership. He's a life member of both.
Oh, well, fair enough then. All right. Second that from Mike Van Roy then. All right. Is there any objection to adding Boomer Shannon then to our delegation? All right. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and throw Boomer on that list. All right.
So the delegation is now the people who were approved at the convention, plus Jose and Boomer.
Correct.
What's our total number?
63 now.
Okay.
Sorry?
63. Is that what you said?
63 out of 100.
107 is the total allocated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Correct.
Alrighty. So, is there anything further we need to do with that tonight? Okay, let's move ahead then. Let's go to LPCA Convention 2027 calendaring. I would like to try and get this on the calendar as fast as possible. If not this month, then next month, so that people can start soliciting bids and the search can go on for that sort of thing. Mimi, you have your hand up. Mimi?
Whoops, I was muted. I've been looking at it. So for the we're talking about the national, we're talking about our convention prior to the national convention, correct?
Correct. Which will be in February 28th. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we cannot have it in February 28th because that would not give us enough time, obviously, because the national convention is in February of 2028. So my suggestion is that we should be looking for a time after. So on July 31st of 2027 is when national will have decided, that's the deadline for if we're a region on our own and what our delegation is. I believe that those two things need to happen before we have that convention, because that's where we're going to be possibly, if we're not a region on our own, we need to know that before our convention. If we are, we need to know that before our convention. And we also need to know how many delegates we're going to be selecting. So my suggestion is that we have, and I don't have an exact date, but that we have the convention in August of 2027. That's my suggestion. We can talk about that, but I think that we could look at any weekend during that month for bids and things like that. There's no specific particular date. I don't want to take this all the way. I mean, we could take it all the way to Labor Day and do it on a 3-day weekend, but that's just my input here. But I think we do need to have at least a time frame of people to be able to look at hotels or possibly the church that Star Child has suggested for, bids for our convention, so people can start getting something to bring to us next month for figuring it out. So that's my input.
Wes, you have your hand up.
Why don't we just pick a weekend in August? I proposed the third weekend in August. That would be like the 20th through the 22nd.
I got the impression Mimi was suggesting we leave it up to people making the bids to come up with a specific weekend, because they might have like a facility is available one weekend and not another. Is that what you're suggesting, or do you think it would be good to pick a date?
No, my suggestion was that we pick a time frame and have people come back next month with proposals.
And the time frame being August through Labor Day.
That's my time frame suggestion, yeah. So
Okay.
I will go ahead and make that motion if we want a motion. I don't think we need a motion.
I don't know that we need a motion for that necessarily. I just wanted to make sure that we had some clarification of dates so that people can be hunting for that. And then as we get bids, we can then deal with it. I know I've participated in conventions in the past that said we want to have our convention in September, but we're going to let the hotel pick which weekend, because if they have a free weekend, then they'll give us a deal if they're slotting us in and they're picking the time, that sort of thing. So if we could find folks who are willing to do that, where, if individual folks want to find that, then hooray. Wes, you have your hand up.
So I want to get bids from places across the North State. And up here we have a lot of casinos. Is there any objection to looking at a bid from a casino?
We're libertarians, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good
Yeah, I
deal.
have no objection.
We did a national convention in the Red Rock Casino in Nevada, in Vegas.
It's easy to fly to Vegas.
Oh yeah, we did a national convention in Reno just recently.
It's very hard to fly to Eureka.
It actually may not be so hard to fly up here coming soon. There are several companies doing promotions from 8 different airports throughout California directly into McKinleyville here in Humboldt County. So there's 8 different airports from San Diego to Fresno that you can get on to take the very short 45-minute jaunt into ACV. here
I
in
have
Cape.
I have always wanted to arrive in Humboldt in a Cessna. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're like a bush plane in Alaska. All right. So so what I'm hearing then is no one especially has an objection to casinos or whatever.
Okay,
So
thank you.
everybody be aware then that at the end of July, that's when we will find out about our delegate count and what that is. So whatever we schedule needs to happen after July 31st. So people can hunt for
It's
that.
not likely to be known on July 31st. It's
That's
probably going to
true.
be a week later.
It may be a week or so if the current pattern is any indication. Yeah, that's certainly true. So
But we'll have a really
mid-August or
good
later
idea
is
and we'll
probably
know
smart.
if we're a region.
Probably.
Fair. All right. So we'll let people go ahead and go and research those things. All right, and we'll look for bids going forward. All right.
Lauren, could you repeat the dates again for
Because of the shift in the national convention to February 2028, that means that the regional delegate count cutoff happens on the 31st of July 2027. So our convention needs to happen sometime between the 1st of August and like the end of the year. But if we push too far into November, that's a disaster. So the
August 1st to
August September is probably a great time to have our convention. Maybe October, but we'll let people go and hunt for times and good bids and that sort of thing from there. Does that make sense?
of 2027
Of 2027, yes.
or of 2026?
2027. 27. Because that will be the only convention in 2027. And at that convention, we'll be electing officers and we'll be electing national delegates. We'll have to kind of crush some things together there in order to accommodate the national schedule. So it'll be a little bit of a chunkier agenda. But
we won't really have bylaws, yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Oh.
I suspect there's no way to avoid those entirely, but we will not have
I thought we got rid of those until 2029.
Right.
Well, individual people can front bylaws proposals with advance notice. That's what Aaron Starr and Mimi both did last time. So there won't be a direct
We're going to
bylaws
work
committee
together
report.
to do it again.
Oh boy. Well, a Libertarian Voltron is coming with bylaw suggestions with advance notice. That's what's happening. So anyway, the point is we're going to have some extra stuff on the agenda here because we have to do the usual odd numbered stuff and pick our national delegates. So we'll have to do that. So that being so, let's move ahead. Let's talk a little bit about the LNC regional agreement. We'll move to this next piece of the agenda. All right, I wanted to kind of just take the committee's temperature here. We are a region of a single state. Usually these agreements get drafted between states, so there's an understanding of who's what and what's what. I think there is value in us going ahead and writing a regional agreement with ourselves, if only so that there is some clarity on paper about, to my mind, I think there are a couple of important questions. One, what's the term? When there was some conversation about that this last time. What's the term? When does it start? When does it end? And then who does the rep answer to? What's the process by which the rep will solicit approval for stuff before they vote? I think those are important questions to answer. And I'd like some input on that. Mimi, you have your hand up.
So just really quickly, because people seem to not understand this, we have to have a regional agreement. If we do not have a regional agreement with ourselves by the last day of the national convention, we are not a region at all, because that's how the national bylaws work. So there has to be, so we do a regional agreement with ourselves. That's what we've done in the past. We've also had other states join us in the past as well. And we've been super regions, double regions, triple regions, different things, but we have to do that. If we don't do that, then we don't have a region and we have no rep except for the vice chair. So it's not like a question of like, we can just not do it. We have to do it. So I don't know why people keep like having this weird thing that we don't have to do it. So what we've done in the past, and I've done some research on this. I've talked to past chairs. I talked to past secretaries of national, including Alicia Matson. In the past, we did our regional agreement where we said that it's per our bylaws, but we select our region rep and region alternate at our convention, and they take their seats immediately. But the last 2 years, that hasn't been what we've done, because and I'll admit that one of those years is when I did the regional agreement with ourselves, and I forgot to put that in. So we didn't have our people seated until the end of the national convention. I'm going to suggest that we don't say that we're going to do it at our convention and we do it at the end of the national convention, because in the last several years, we've come really close to not being a region unto ourselves. And so I think that we need to be able to pivot if we aren't, because we may not have the ability to say that we are going to do that, because we may not be able to do that. If we're not a region in October 31st of 2027, if we don't meet the 10%, we're not going to be able to do that anyways. So I think we'd be best off writing it that we do it per the national bylaws and do it where we transition at the end of the national convention. That's my 2 cents. But this isn't a motion or anything. This is a thing.
Yeah, I mean, this can, the language, exact language on this can come together, going forward. There doesn't really need to be any motions on this at all. But Joe, you have your hand up.
Okay,
Right.
so I have two general points.
Please.
The first thing is there was a question that came up recently, and a regional agreement was cited, and Mimi has now mentioned that she was somehow involved in creating this. I would like to know what this purported regional agreement says. I think if it's being cited, a copy of it should be available to this committee. And before we do anything about writing a new one, I'd like to know what the existing one says. I would also like to know how this was adopted, under whose authority, if it was done by the executive committee, a citation for the meeting at which it was approved. Because I've not heard anything about what this contains, except for this one mention of this thing. And I think it's very bizarre that the regional rep or the LNC or somebody knows what this thing says, but none of the rest of us do. That's my first point.
It's on Wikipedia. It's on Wikipedia.
Okay, I'll look for it
Is
there.
on Wikipedia
So
right
now
this second.
my second point is I completely disagree with your claim that we have to have a regional agreement. I've been involved with the National Party for a long time, and I have I just read the current, most recent version of the bylaws. There is, first of all, it is not true that if we are not a region, we don't have representation on the LNC. The language is very clear that if a state has more than an affiliate has more than 10%, then they get a representative. The language having to do with regions is a separate sentence. Affiliates can combine together to form a region, in which case they can get a representative if the region has more than 10%. Okay, there is nothing in there that requires even a region to have a regional agreement. There is mention of we do it a certain way, certain things get done a certain way unless the states decide otherwise, and you can infer from that the idea of a regional agreement, but there's no requirement that there actually be a document called a regional agreement. So I think there's a misunderstanding of the bylaws right now. We get a representative regardless of whether we have a regional agreement, as long as we have 10%. If we want to specify things that are different from what the national bylaws say, and we don't consider our bylaws to be sufficient, which I think in these cases should be sufficient, then we could have another document, but I think calling it a regional agreement is silly. It could be a resolution of this executive committee. It could be a resolution of our convention or something like that. But calling something an agreement where there's no parties to agree is totally silly, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. It looks like we have some questions then that we need to find some answers to and some more conversation to be had on this, which is fine. That's why I wanted to get this conversation started. All right. So I think that's probably all that we can credibly say on it right now, because now we have to go find answers to questions. So does anyone else have a comment or whatnot on this, what I have labeled as the LNC regional agreement on the agenda? Okay. All right. Then let's move ahead then. I have here coalition opportunity with a no new tax CA. should we sign on? I don't know exactly what signing on even means, but I just wanted to take the group's temperature here to say, should I contact these people and say, hey, put us on your list of people who support no new taxes in California? Does
Sounds
it
good on the base of it.
right? I mean, that
Do we
sounds
know
reasonable.
who's behind the group, or
I don't expressly but I mean, if they don't want taxes in California,
Well, who put it on the agenda?
I did.
Well, then you
The
should know.
oh yeah, you're right. I should, but at this point, it was 2 months ago because it
The
happened before the
website
thing.
says, paid for by Californians against wasteful spending and higher taxes, a project of the California Business Roundtable.
Oh, well, there you go.
And there is nothing on their website that shows any kind of co-sponsors, or the only thing there is about coalition is it looks like as an individual you can sign up to be a to join the coalition, which looks like it's just a mailing list. There isn't even a place to identify an organization that you're with.
You know, a lot of that can be so deceptive. So if we have nothing further, I vote that we just postpone that pending further information.
Well, if somebody wants to find out, looks to me like they're just a political committee that's collecting names.
Yes, we know how that goes. You need
Yeah.
a little bit more work.
Okay, fair
it
enough.
it does sound like something worth getting on board, but we should, try to leverage them to give us more visibility and have a say in the coalition. If they're calling themselves a coalition, they should really be a coalition and not just one group trying to get, harvest a lot of people's data so they can put them on their mailing lists,
That's a fair point. Alrighty. Well, no motion on that then. All right, carrying on. All right, Wes, tell us about this documentary project. Thank you, Antonio. Good night.
Okay. So many of you have probably heard me talk about this over the last couple of months that I want to make a movie. And well, I want to make a movie. I brought a local director to one of our Humboldt County meetings a few months back. He enjoyed the meeting, enjoyed meeting everybody. We've had several long talks about the Liberty movement and basically what has happened over the last couple of years from, just before the 2024 convention to now, and then where I hope things might go in the future, basically leading up to our 2028 presidential nominee. There's two intersecting arcs within the movie. I'm sure you guys want to know what I'm going to say and what the movie is going to be about. I don't want to get into too many details. Everybody knows the different conspiracy theories wrapped around the Mises Caucus and Trump and this and that. And I don't want to break that ice right now. It will be in the movie. Every single one of them. We're going to give a minute or two to 30 different conspiracy theories as just a part of introducing the fact that there are a lot of conspiracy theories swarming around the Libertarian Party. And one of the things that we do want to put to fact are not only the story of us rebuilding, like our working title right now is Rebuilding Liberty. So basically recovering from the hard hit in membership loss that we've took, recovering from everything that happened with Angela McArdle and the Mises Caucus takeover in 2024, leading up to 2026, who is going to be the new leadership. Angela was hoisted out, and none of those people were really elected. They were kind of put in positions where they are right now. This 2026 election here at National is going to be the first time we really get to voice our opinions again on a nationwide level. So it's really kind of hinging a little bit on what happens at the 2026 convention. And then, of course, we have a very long list of personalities that we want to get to know over the next 2 years as we lead into the 2028 convention and the announcement of our 2028 presidential nominee. Tracy says it's going to take him about 10 weeks to do the director's cut after we announce at that 2028 convention, which puts us launching the movie that summer before election. I view it as a way for us to really bring to light some libertarian beliefs, kind of bring to the forefront some very prominent libertarian voices in the movement, as well as telling the redemption story of the rebuilding of the Libertarian Party. Hopefully there is a redemption story to tell. And things stay on a good trajectory over the next 2 years. Or else it'll end up being a very different movie about the complete implosion of of the libertarian. We'll see how it goes. This is just the kickoff. We are going to be following people for the next 2 years, from the national convention in Grand Rapids to the national convention in El Paso. So I'm sure you guys have questions. Let's start with them now.
All right, Star Child, you have your hand up.
Sure. Thanks, Wes. But yeah, I guess a little bit confused. Well, first, who's working on this project, and what do you see as the audience? You say it sounds like, sort of from your description, like inside libertarian stuff, but you also mentioned promoting libertarian ideas. So I'm wondering if the audience is mostly people already in the movement or people outside the movement. And if you're looking for content, people speaking about libertarian ideas, I would be happy to be interviewed to be part of the
course,
movie. If
yes,
you're
Star
going
Child,
around
you're on the
doing
list.
stuff,
Let's just
but
put that the qualms right now. You're one of the most outspoken and very prominent people for the last 15 to 20 years. Yeah, you are on the list to get called. Don't worry. Let's move beyond that real quick to
okay.
answer some
Well, I
questions
guess
that
my big question,
this is
and
completely
I know you don't
outward
want to get
facing.
into it
This is
too
not for
much, but
libertarians. This is going to be a very basic introduction
outward
of basic libertarian principles.
I like that. I without getting too much into the details, you are trying to keep the Libertarian Party pure and libertarian. You're against the Trump takeover, this kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to do a Nolan quiz for you. It will never happen. I'm not going to sit here and break down my personal beliefs for you personally, Star Child,
No, I'm not
especially not
asking
while I'm trying to give a
personal
presentation.
beliefs. I'm just asking what the direction of the movie is as far as that message.
It's going to be about the rebuilding of the Libertarian Party after the near fatal takeover by the Mises Caucus.
Okay.
That certainly
I'm
sounds
not the director,
like it is
so
not pro Mises Caucus.
So let's get into that first off, because you did ask about who is going to be working on it. Can I share my screen here? I sent this out like a week ago. How do I do that?
Good question. Hopefully I have the meeting set up to let you do that.
It's in the bottom in the middle, Wes. It
Share.
says share.
The green button. I don't use this very often, so okay, so let's take a look at this screen. Okay, so hopefully you guys can now see that screen. This is my friend Tracy Boyd. His most recent projects are here. Everything from hit HBO shows, Hung, Enlightened, and True Detectives, to the last big Matt Damon movie, Downsizing. It's where they shrunk him into a little man. He's worked as a working DGA director for the last 25 years since graduating from Humboldt State's film school. We both went to Humboldt State University. He lives here in Arcata with me. We both work at the local film commission, so I know him pretty well at this point. We've been talking about this project for almost 6 months now, and I am actually starting to believe that we might be able to pull it off. So he actually does have a little 3-minute trailer of his work on here. If you guys want to watch it, do you want to watch it? This is his director's reel. I mean, it's up to you.
Will the sound come through?
We can find out.
Well, Wesley, what are you looking for from us, if anything, as a group, as the Libertarian Party of California? That was the other thing I was quite clear on.
Realistically, what we want to do for funding is we want to make an investor pool, and we want to sell shares of the movies to the different libertarian affiliates, the state and national affiliates. I have a meeting with Brian McWilliams from National later this week to talk about their involvement with the movie as well. But instead of going to like big wigs or selling product placement for people, we want to sell shares of the movie directly to affiliates. And because I'm with you guys, the only thing I am asking from you guys for is permission to allow me to fundraise on behalf of buying a share for the Libertarian Party of California. Every share of the movie is going to be worth 0.5% in perpetuity. So it's a way for the Libertarian Party of California to own a piece of this movie moving forward. That's it. I mean, I don't really need anything other than you. Other than, yeah, Wes, go raise money for us. So I'm already a member of the CSC, which controls the unrestricted account. So it would really just be for me making phone calls to get people to donate money, and any money that's not spent on a share of the movie is going to be left in the unrestricted account to be used as the party sees fit. Like we're selling shares in $12,000 increments. So if we don't hit $12,000, all the money is the party's. If we hit $12,000, you guys get one share. If we get 15, you get a share and $3,000 left in the account. You know, that sort of situation. But do you want to watch the trailer or no? I mean,
well, it looks like Joe has his hand up. So let's come back around on the trailer here in a minute. Joe, you have your hand up.
So if I'm understanding your message correctly, you're trying to raise $2.4 million.
1.2.
No, you're trying to raise 2.4 million,
no, I'm not.
Of which half of which is going to be
$1.2 million.
Well, but the whole thing, that's 1.2 from state parties, from state affiliates, and that represents a 50% share of the movie. So the total value apparently of the movie is $2.4 million, right?
No.
Or that part just belongs to you guys without any. So the actual only financial, the money you're raising is 1.2 million, but that's supposed to be half the value of the whole enterprise.
Yes.
Okay. So that presumably is going to go into production and promotion and so forth. What does it mean to own, say, 1% of this movie? Do you have any sort of expected revenue, or is it basically a publicity expense for whoever owns what is the benefit of being an owner of this movie?
So distribution for something like this is going to be twofold. Keeping Tracy interested, because he has been on large movies. He wants to record this at a level cinematic enough for us to go to Sundance. So he wants to make it something that we could get PGA, which is the Producers Guild of America. You have to produce things at a certain quality level in order to be inducted into this special group. So that's what we're looking to do. At that level, it will have a limited run theatrical release. We'll probably do 15 to 20 major film screening events like Sundance and South by Southwest. But ultimately, it's going to end up in my Film Hub account for distribution over Netflix and Amazon Prime.
Do you have a title for it?
The working title right now is Rebuilding Liberty.
Okay, so the other thing I'm trying to understand, you're saying you're not asking for us to pay any money, but you're asking for permission as an agent of the LPC, as the chair of the
No, I'm a third party in this situation.
To raise money in the name of the party to buy shares in this thing.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So when you go out to people, aren't you going to be representing yourself as the LPC? And their contributions would be contributions to the LPC.
That is what we are deciding right now.
So, but it seems like implicit in that is an endorsement of this as something of value. We say, give us $100 toward this project because we think it's a really great project. And they're going to give the $100 or the $1,000 or whatever it is to the LPC to spend on this thing, in the same way as if we raised money to make TV ads or to pay candidates filing fees or to pay for the newsletter or anything else.
I see. Yep.
So it seems to me it's actually the LPC spending the money, just like it is spending any other donor's contribution.
So are we talking about, if I could just step in here for a second, we're
So
talking about
you want to claim unreceived funds as LPC money?
Well, I think, are we talking about something like an escrow? Like it's going to be held somehow separately, and if it reaches a certain point, then the LPCA gives it to the film, and if it
Sounds like
doesn't,
every
then the
time it
LPCA
hits
keeps it.
$12,000, it gets a piece of it goes to the film.
Would we want to keep track of this in a separate account,
It
or at least a separate line in QuickBooks for sure?
Well, this is going to be coming up later in the meeting because we are testing out that new Nation Builder system. And within Nation Builder, we should be able to fundraise and keep accounting for different fundraising efforts, even though the money is being put into the same candidate fund, which is currently our unrestricted fund. That would be the only fund that we would be able to do this out of because we can pretty much spend that money on anything we want. But during the course of this, I would be using this as an excuse to test out Nation Builder, as well as like other things, that Nation Builder needs to be tested out for, like sending out emails and I have stuff that I have to do with the CMC as well with Nation Builder. So,
but don't you
Okay.
see how this is endorsing the project? The LPC would be endorsing the movie, which
that's why I'm here, is for the endorsement.
right would be.
If
That's
I
what the
didn't need
proposal is, that we endorse this project as something beneficial for the cause and beneficial for the party, and more specifically.
Yeah, I think
Otherwise, why would we be telling people to give money to it?
I think that's pretty clearly the ask here.
Okay, all right. I just want to make clear that is what's going on here.
Okay, Mimi, you have your hand up.
So we can already take in money and hold it in trust, or we can put it in a separate GL account. That's all possible. It doesn't matter if it's Nation Builder or if it's Neon. All of that is possible. We can also have a separate fund for collecting money for something like this. That would be the one question I do have, and apparently my voice is going away, is I don't know why this would have to be the unrestricted fund, because of the fact that I don't believe that it's actually endorsing a particular candidate, and our restricted funds can actually go toward things that aren't for a candidate, and I bring this up because that means if somebody wanted to give the party $1 million towards something like this, they could, because it's not endorsing a particular candidate. We have no campaign finance limits on that. But I think, I think there's a lot of questions here. I'm not quite sure if there's a particular emotion that we're talking about at this moment. I think that it's a good, I think it's exciting that there's going to be a movie and Star Child is going to be featured. I think that's very cool. I definitely don't want to be featured because I don't like to be on video. But I think that there's still a lot of questions to this. But as far as how we could do it legally with campaign finance rules, we absolutely could. I mean, and it wouldn't be hard to do. So that's all I have to say.
Well, despite what Star Child said, I do not know how to raise my hand. His instructions did not work. So I'm raising my hand for when I'm next.
Go ahead, Pat. I think you're next.
I don't know why this has to be done within the LPC. Why can't it be done outside the LPC? It puts us at risk. I do not see the benefit. It detracts us from our mission. It is kind of interesting, which I'm surprised because I was initially opposed to it, but Wesley kind of has intrigued me. But I don't think it's an LPC function. I think it's something that he can do outside of LPC. So I'd kind of like to call the question.
To what?
Well, that's good. That's a good. I appreciate that, Pat. But I think that we're hazing on what the question is at this stage.
We haven't had a motion, right?
Well,
Yeah,
let's
there
call the
hasn't been a motion.
discussion
There's
then.
no motion.
So I mean,
Okay.
why
I think-
can't it be done outside the LPC? Why are we tying the LPC into this? It's an interesting concept, but I even think putting the LPC into it, Wesley, would pollute your efforts. I mean, you want something that's not biased.
I'm giving you the opportunity, Pat, to own a piece of a movie that could potentially make $20 to $50 million.
Right. And I mean, as a passive income stream,
That's why
attractive.
you should vote for it, or
Right.
you should back me. But if you're going to let your personal hatred of me get in the
now
way
hold
of
on,
seeing
hold on, now,
financial
Wesley.
gain,
Hang on,
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Wesley.
whoa.
Okay, I think that it is reasonable. The notion that this is forming a potential passive income stream to the party, I think, is a reasonable thing to.
Well, I just want to know what's on the below his t-shirt. It says, "I can only eat half of it." What's the rest of your sweatshirt say?
this is actually a quote from the set of the filming of Gone with the Wind. A producer saw it and saw how many women were featured in it, and he called it a whore's fever dream.
Hey, Wesley, stand up, just a
So I wear a shirt that says,
Thank you, I feel better.
Whore with a dream.
Whore with a dream. Aren't we
I would
all,
have never
really?
filled that in. Thank you, Wesley, I feel better.
All right, let's
A little
go to Mimi.
surprised, but I feel better.
Let's go to Mimi. She's got her hand up, and then Star Child.
So I'm not going to do what I was about to do, but I think that the whole point of this is that Wesley is giving the party an opportunity to make money from this if we're able to raise money to buy pieces of this. I think that's the whole point. I think that is actually a very exciting opportunity that we could, it's something outside the box, and I think that we all should start thinking outside the box, seriously. But I don't think that we've got a motion on the floor right now. I think we've had a lot of discussion about nothing. I think we need to have something more concrete. There's no calling of questions because there is no question to be called. I don't want to stop Starchild from speaking, but I think we really need to go on to the next item on our agenda. True. And I think that this has been a really good opportunity to discuss this. I think that over emails we can discuss it further. And
what information
I think it's really
had?
exciting.
Because it's not like this can go out till next month. I have 11 days, according to film schedule, to make a decision on whether this is going to happen.
Can you do it without our support?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. There's no way possible that one state or the entire conglomerate of states, even if every state bought a share, is going to work up the $1.2 million that I need to make this movie happen. I am personally putting nearly $250,000 of my own money into it. The question is whether or not you guys want to be involved. If you don't want to be involved, I kind of need to know because I have to move forward. Like my calendar is right here, and I have a March 21st cutoff date for Tracy where I have to be able to tell him, yeah, man, I'm going to call the DGA. I'm going to sign your contract. And for the next 2 years, we're going to be making a movie. So it's
okay. So you interrupted me. So that was my question that you didn't answer before is, do we need to have a motion right now? Is there a motion on the floor? Because I haven't heard one.
It sounds
if
like
there is,
it sounds
then
like
there
we have a
need
motion.
to be a motion.
Well,
in the past, it's
Yeah,
been
there
fundraising activities are fundraising activities, and everything is okay. But now I need a motion to do my fundraising activities.
No, you are saying you need an answer from this board tonight in order to do the thing, which would mean that we'd have to have some kind of motion. So if you're saying you need a motion, I will make a motion that we will, okay, I'm making a motion that we support the idea of doing this as a fundraising endeavor for the LPC to support this movie and buy a share of the movie so that we can have money in perpetuity. And that was a really shitty phrased motion, but that is.
I wasn't sure if a motion needed to be.
It does.
Okay.
I think given that you're looking to raise money like on behalf of the party in some way, I think that we need to at least authorize you to do that. And I think that there needs to be a motion to authorize Wes to do that.
So that's my motion. It was a shitty motion, but
that was a lot of motion. Let's before we go to a second. Before we go to a second, let's mess around with that motion a little bit so that we can be clear about what we're doing here.
Can you write it down and put it in the chat, please?
I'm trying to do that right now as we're talking.
Okay, well, while Mimi crafts this thing, Starchild, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, I think, well, first of all, Wesley, I mean, you don't need our permission to do free speech and contact libertarians and ask them for money for the project, including libertarians as county affiliates or, any other organized group. But I feel like to have the Libertarian Party of California endorse the project, I wouldn't feel comfortable taking that step without more details on what the actual message of the movie is going to be. And it sounds like you don't want to get into that too much, maybe because this is a public forum, although really we're all, we know each other here. I don't.
Well, no, it's just because the story is evolving, and like I don't know how it's going to turn out at the LNC in 2026.
Well,
Because
can you give
a
us like
key hinging point for us is going to be if these people who are currently running the LNC get reelected, and where that takes us, or if the people who are coming into the new LNC, if they have a different viewpoint, whether or not the bad elements, or who we even consider the bad elements. And without knowing that sort of stuff, I can't give you like a trajectory of the story arc.
Well, like a thesis, like, or, what ideological points do you want to make? Are you going to stress the centrality of the non-aggression principle, for example, in terms of communicating the libertarian message to non-libertarians? That to me, I think is very important, is that we have a non-aggression principle centered message.
So I agree 100% with our statement of principles. Even though right now I am currently getting blown up with platform messages from people who think that they can try to get 7/8 of the delegation to change our statement of principles. I am completely for it. All of our core libertarian beliefs, things like our statement of principle, the non-aggression, stuff, freedom of rights, personal sovereignty. I'm a big social libertarian. I am all about personal sovereignty, open markets, open borders. I'm an open borders guy. But our idea is to be able to introduce all of the different aspects of libertarianism. There are so many people in the world who don't even really know what libertarianism is. What's the difference between a minarchist and an anarchist? Just
And
a very
is Tracy
basic.
Boyd down with this
Months.
vision? Does he share your values on these things that you're talking about?
Tracy is an ultra liberal, so we are going to be a little playing off each other slightly. I have been working on Tracy for the last 5 months to bring him into the Libertarian Party. So,
Can I talk to him and
oh
help
yeah,
with that?
oh you will. That's why I sent the email out with his contact information a week
Oh,
ago.
did you?
We fully
Okay, I
thought
didn't
that
see
you
it.
would have
Right.
contacted him by now. I honestly fully thought that.
I missed that.
I'm
Okay,
going to
hang
stop
on.
you guys for a sec.
All right, let's jump in real quick.
I'm going to stop you guys for a second. I'm trying to write this motion. I need a little bit of help here.
Okay.
So I moved that
I
the
just popped
LPC
one in there,
approve-
Mimi. Does that help?
Maybe. I motion to authorize. Yeah, that's about.
Okay.
I wanted to put a little bit more into that. That was kind of where I was at. So, okay. So yeah. So I'm making that. That's so moved. I'd like to just do that.
Okay, this motion here from
so we
Mimi,
can go to other
that the
stuff.
LPC approves supporting the movie Wesley is proposing through the general funds. And I guess there's an understanding there that fundraising is going to be happening.
I will write up a complete report about that. I just need to know something to tell people.
All right, fair enough. So that is the motion that is before us. Do we have a second for that motion at this stage?
I
I'll give
don't
a shitty
quite
second.
understand the motion. Approve supporting the movie Wesley proposing that will be through the general fund. So it's saying that we're going to give some money towards this, but an unspecified amount, or is it just saying that we approve Wesley? Because Wesley doesn't need our approval to ask people for money. So
So that's what I was trying to. Okay, so I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to get from you guys. What I was trying to figure out how to say is that we are going to raise money because there's a thing that is like these $12,000 shares, and there's a thing where we get money in perpetuity. I don't know how complex we need to make this motion, but I think that I would like to support it going forward, and I would like to be able to have us be supportive of this and possibly make money from it. So if somebody has some better way to phrase that, that's great. But I'd like to kind of get this done so we can go on to other stuff. That's kind of what I'm doing. So was there a second to my motion?
I think Paul was about to say something.
Second.
Paul made a shitty second. All right. We have a shitty
Okay,
second
well,
for the
with
shitty
this
motion.
shitty second, I'm gonna call the question.
Okay. So I think everybody has a reasonable understanding of what we're voting on here. We're allowing Wes to raise money, putting the LPCA's name on it, gunning towards a share of this film. Does everybody
What
understand
would,
that
I
that's
mean,
what we're
would
voting
that
on here?
mean that, Lauren, a point of information?
Yes.
Would that mean that Wesley could send out emails or text messages or whatever saying like the Libertarian Party wants you to donate to this film, send me money?
I am not
That
going to
what-
publicly do that. I am going to probably get with Dr. Dave, if he's willing to help out, to create a list of high net worth individuals and people in the entertainment industry and contact them directly.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
will those people be told directly that if the fundraising reaches a certain threshold, this will go towards the Libertarian Party of California owning a percentage of this thing, and you'll be creating a passive income stream for the party?
Yes.
Is that part of the pitch?
Yes,
Okay.
that is all part of the pitch, is help
Okay.
the LPCA make money forever.
and you and Tracy Boyd are the only principals here involved with producing this at this point?
Yes. We are the only principals involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I don't know,
I
wish
called
Tracy-
the question.
okay,
This is
so-
discussion. I called the question.
All right. So does everybody understand what we're looking to vote on here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's roll call vote this thing, because I suspect that there are some folks who still have reservations. So Rebecca, if you would please.
Okay, Pat.
So many unanswered questions. It's like, it's much too soon to do this. Too much of a risk.
All right, me, Rebecca, I will also vote no. Mike.
I'm interested in the concept, but yeah, I'd have to agree with Pat, vote no. For now.
Joe.
No.
All right, Mary Beth isn't here, so Brandon.
I'm going to abstain.
Francisco.
Abstain.
June.
Not here.
She's
Not
not here.
here.
June's not here. Mark.
Did you say Mark?
Yes, Mark.
Yes.
Wesley.
Yes.
Mimi.
I vote yes. I don't understand the reluctance, but I vote yes.
Dave.
I abstain, but Wes, I'm happy to work with you to flesh it out a little bit better, hoping maybe we can do an email vote with more detail provided.
We cannot do an email vote. It's not possible in our bylaws.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Richard.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
And Nick.
No.
Okay, there's 5 yeses, 5 noes, and 3 abstains. Oh, and Lauren, no, you didn't vote yet.
Am I really breaking a tie here? This is a
No,
simple
because it
majority
needs
vote.
8
No,
votes.
it fails because it needs 8 votes.
It needs 8. Okay, then my vote won't matter. So I will not vote.
Okay.
And we've also lost people here tonight, I believe.
True.
I don't
Nope,
think we
everyone
have
voted.
full-
Only Mary Beth is not here, and June's not here.
Okay. All right. Well, then that motion will fail. We can chat a little bit more about that going forward. I'm curious, Wes. So let's have some conversations offline about this. In the meantime, let's go ahead and move ahead to older lapsed member mailing project proposal. This is a Dave Schrader item. So, Dave, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to make everybody happy. I'm not going to talk about that one, so we can move on to the next one. I'll bring it up when the membership committee meets.
This older lapsed member thing. We're skipping that and going to first time member dues proposal.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, so I wrote a motion. I apologize I didn't send it out earlier. Tom Woodard's on the call with us so he can speak to his motives for wanting to do this, I was willing to sponsor it. And then I also talked to Mimi so it was clear what the rules were for approving this. So I wrote those down too. So hopefully that will accelerate things even more. So Tom, you want to talk a little bit about the motion?
Sure. My idea is that as I campaign across the state, what I wanted to do was incorporate membership drives in every event that I could. Fundraisers, might not always be conducive to that, but they might be. And so what we're organizing around is that in each area of the state, soliciting volunteers that help us in our campaign, but also help set up membership drive events. This could be at universities, it could be at clubs, it could be at fairs, it could be all that. Knowing that we have a membership issue, let's call it, and a resource issue, my idea was, especially, I know this isn't really a statistical study, but it's empirical. It's amazing to me, being a bit of a newbie with you guys, how many people I talk to when I'm getting signatures and everything else that consider themselves libertarian, even though they've never registered for the party. And I think right now there's a unique opportunity with kind of the fractionalization of both major parties in the state that a lot of people are looking for a place where they can hang their hat and belong. And I believe that we have the very best option. And so I thought, I have 3 months, a little less than 3 months now before the primary, but we have till November to really drive membership this year. And part of my thesis is that we sign up new members, they'll tend to vote Libertarian, especially this year, even though we don't have that many statewide candidates. The reason for the discount is because I'm approaching two basic voter blocks, voter groups, not always very cohesive, but still there they are. And it's Gen Z, some trailing end of the millennials, and the Latino Californians, the Hispanic Californians. And I felt that it would be important, since a lot of the Latino vote is blue collar and a lot of the Gen Z are students, to have a really low cost offer to join the party, something almost everybody can do if they want to. And it would only be the first time that they join, although obviously I'm not going to have the ability on the run to vet everybody that has been a member before and let it lapse years ago, et cetera. So I don't know what to do with that. I would leave that to to the judgment of the committee here. But I don't care about, I know that it's been, suggested in this that I have a certain code, and I'm happy to do that. We'll print out pre-printed cards with a QR code on it and a written code on the bottom to get the discount. And I plan on putting these out far and wide. Actually, a business card size, we can fit everything on front and back. My idea is just to drive membership while we're doing this, and that's all in a nutshell. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, Dave, I bumped your motion down in the chat so that everybody can see it. You had posted it earlier, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I guess answering questions would be next, and then the process side of it, Mimi very helpfully wrote me an email, which I didn't ask her for permission, but put it in there so everybody understands, how this works. Apparently we'll cover it right now. According to her, this isn't really a bylaws thing. The bylaws just say that the executive committee sets membership dues, and it's a 50-50 split. So no matter what number they come up with, it's a 50-50 split. In this case, would be $5 to the state, $5 to the county groups. But I guess my view is our number one problem right now, which is why I signed up for the membership committee, was to get some new members in. We can go after the lapsed members, but this would be, through the Woodard campaign, a great opportunity to get new members, and then hopefully they stick with us and they pay the $25 fee, and then we're kind of back to normal. we could toss in Ginzu knives or something, but wait, there's more, the typical marketing kind of thing. But we definitely need to get more members into the party, and it looks like Tom is ready, willing, and able to get the word out about the party through his governor campaign.
Okay, so Mimi, you have your hand up, and then Star Child.
Okay, so really quickly, Dave, did you make the motion yet? Before
Should be on the screen.
No, I know, but did you actually say I make a motion and did somebody second it?
I make a motion.
Okay, and I second it. And he's
okay
already
then.
spoken to the motion.
All right.
So I'm going to speak to the motion as well. I don't see any downside to this. We can very easily make a QR code to go to a special landing page that would be only for his people. Also, that coupon code, which is going to have to be part of it, would only be for his people. So we would know that those are people that are coming in through his campaign. In our database, we'll know if they're already members. But frankly, this is an idea of getting people as members who I'd rather get $10 and have a new member than get nothing and not have a new member for the first year. I see no downside to this at all. It's one of those things like, you're going to pay somebody to help fundraise for you, and you're going to give them 50% of what they fundraise, which, by the way, we're not doing that with this, but you're getting money that you aren't going to get otherwise. And Tom is not asking us to give his campaign part of this money. He's just asking us to provide this resource to get new members for the Libertarian Party. So I truly believe that we should just vote for this, and I don't know that we need to take a whole lot of time to do this. And so I'm going to call the question.
Okay.
Object.
It looks like there's an objection to the calling of the question.
Yeah, I object
Star Child,
too. This
He's
is
not
this
a
is in
voting
the
member
spirit
right
of
now,
getting people
actually, but I would be okay with that.
Yeah, okay.
getting
So
people a chance to even ask questions before after only 2 people have spoken in favor of it.
yeah,
Okay, I'll take it back. I'll take it back.
Fair enough. Thank you. Star Child. Let's be brief though. Let's be aware that it's 8:45.
Yeah. I want to make an amendment to Dave's motion. I just put it into the chat. His motion would read, or the amended motion would read, to support the growth of party membership and assist the Woodard for Governor campaign and other LPC endorsed candidates, as well as the party itself and the cause of freedom for which we stand. The LPCA shall provide the campaign, shall provide any LPC endorsed candidate or current LPC member requesting one with a special first-time membership code offering a $10 introductory membership rate, and then the rest of the language would be the same. So basically, it would just be extending.
Motion.
Sorry?
I second your amendment. I second the motion to amend.
Sorry, I just didn't hear what you said. So
Okay.
yeah, basically just the intention would be to extend this to all of our candidates who may want to use it, or other party members who may want to do outreach based on this introductory membership rate.
Okay. All right. So
My second is only for candidates, by the way, not for any other member. My second is only for candidates.
Well,
then you're not seconding my motion, maybe, because it's the way I wrote it.
Okay, then I take it back because I didn't hear that part. I take it back.
Oh, okay. All right. So is there a second then to this amendment from Star Child?
Can you repeat it? I'm sorry.
It's in the chat, but I can read it again.
Thank you.
So it would say, to support the growth of party membership and assist the Woodard for Governor campaign and other LPC endorsed candidates, as well as the party itself and the cause of freedom for which we stand. Any LPC endorsed candidate or current LPC member requesting, I'm sorry, it's hard to get, let me start over. To support the growth of party membership and assist the Woodard for Governor campaign and other LPC endorsed candidates, as well as the party itself and the cause of freedom for which we stand. The LPCA shall provide any LPC endorsed candidate or current LPC member requesting one with a special first-time membership code offering a $10 introductory membership rate, and then the rest of the language would be the same.
Cool. What's the downside?
I think the downside, according to Mimi, is the idea that any current LPCA member would be able to request such a code. to
Let's say
then
it was a
be handing out
candidate.
to people.
It has to be endorsed candidates, I think is the spirit of this.
Sure.
Well, Star
Why not?
Child wants it broader. She wants it narrower.
Yeah, Star Child wants to broaden this from endorsed candidates to endorsed candidates or current LPC members requesting such a code for distribution, I guess, for an introductory
Really,
membership
Star
rate.
Child?
Anyone who requests one, I don't see why limited. I mean, if it's a good idea for us to offer $10 memberships on an introductory basis,
Well,
why
then
wouldn't
we
we?
could have the
Wait,
Mises
may I
Caucus
ask?
come in
I'm
and
sorry.
infiltrate the party again.
I'm sorry. Can I
So,
finish my sentence, please?
I'm sorry. I hate to be an interrupter.
Okay.
Well, you'll answer me.
Yeah. If it's a good idea to offer a $10 introductory membership rate, which I support the general concept, I don't see why we would want to say, well, only people who are running as candidates can offer that. It seems like anybody who's doing outreach and recruiting new members should be welcome to use that if they want to. I don't see the point limiting it.
What when the Mises
Okay.
Caucus comes back?
Well, okay, hold on. We don't need to do questions just yet. The point is, this is the motion here is to amend. We're looking for a second for this motion to amend. Is there a second? All right.
Not as it is.
It looks like there is no second then, so that amendment will not go. All right, so that brings us back to our main motion then, which is also in the chat there.
I have my
think,
hand up
Joe,
to
you had
ask
your
a
hand
question.
up next. Yes, Joe,
I have
go ahead.
I have a question which I think actually kind of gets to this point of generalizing it. My question was not about. I don't actually have an objection to the idea of expanding it to other candidates if somebody wants to make that motion. But my question was, what kind of precedent is there for this? Either something that is already in effect. Do we, for example, have a student membership rate at this time or a youth membership? Or have we in the recent past had to have such things? Or introductory memberships? What is...
I believe we do presently have a student rate that you can sign up for through the website. I think that's been a long standing.
And do you know how much that is?
I do not. Maybe do you know how much that is? Is it $10? The student rate is $10?
Yes, it's $10.
Mimi, you were opposing what we already have.
No, because he doesn't want to only offer it to students. He cited or Gen Zs and their student status as correlated, but he doesn't want to make it limited to students. He wants it to be anybody who's attracted by the campaign.
You're right, Joe. I stand corrected.
Can I make a comment? So from a marketing perspective, one thing that I haven't worked on, but we really do need to work on is we'll have a lot of different efforts to do outreach. So attribution is the word that people need to understand. So by having that code for the Woodard campaign, we know and can attribute which new members that came in are attributable to him. Now, there's nothing against the idea of other endorsed candidates asking for the same kind of thing. I would hope that we would give them a different code, and then we could see.
Well, how about somebody make that amendment, propose that amendment?
Well, it's not
I
amendment
have
to
my
this.
hand up to do that.
Okay.
You could.
All right.
you could-
Let's. I think we understand what you're saying, Dave. I think we've got you. Mimi's got her hand up. It sounds like we're moving to an amendment here again.
Yeah, so my amendment is to also offer this to other candidates with their own unique coupon code so that we can track which is coming from each candidate.
Yeah, I'll second that.
I'll second that.
So I'm basically taking, thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion to amend this thing with a second to just tack on the end of the motion, and we will provide such a code to any endorsed candidate, a unique code to any other endorsed candidate that requests one. Yes, that's what we're at.
Yeah, I was kind of typing it in, but yes, that works.
Oh, I see it here. Okay, I see what
any
you're doing.
candidate,
Okay.
yeah. So any that request it, I like
Okay.
that last word you put in.
All right. So does everybody understand what this motion to amend is? Okay, is there any objection to this amendment to the motion? All right, then let's go ahead and amend the motion to reflect that so that we can see what it's doing.
But does it say endorsed candidate? It's any of the 7 of us can do it if we want.
You could, in fact, Joe, ask for a unique code.
Okay.
And
but it has to be somebody who's been
if this main motion passes and we do
right.
that,
That's the idea of it.
Right. Okay, so that pulls us back to the main motion now again. Tom, you have your hand up.
I do. I just wanted to point out something, and I know this goes a little bit against my friend Dave Schrader's point about assignment, so that you can actually track which campaign is most effective, or has where is all this coming from, this new membership flow. I would only offer this, that I think that it will be obvious. The party's a small party right now. We're a small group. I would rather instigate a movement among the entire state party membership that everybody takes this on and says, wow, right now, between now and November, we can offer new memberships in the state party for this much. And I would like it. I don't care who gets the credit. At the end of the day, if I instigate this and I'm pumping it up and I'm going to region and getting other people excited, and they go out and exercise their own genius in this, etc., I really don't care about the credit. I care about the result. So I think you'll know that just by taking this up today and making the motion, that if we instill it and we don't limit it too much, I'm sorry about, I understand the making of various QR codes. I'd rather have one that didn't maybe track as many results per candidate, but was widespread throughout the state, so everybody could use the same literature that's printed. And we just go pell-mell for extinction, on doing the very best that we can and getting as many members as we can, which to me was the impulse behind my offer in the first place. It's not for me to get any kind of recognition or notoriety, et cetera. And I believe that if we created some kind of organic movement, that we could get the most results possible. That's just my own opinion. And I know I'm not a voting member, so I appreciate your patience.
Sure. Okay. All right. Any further comment then on this amended motion?
I'd like to ask Dave what his thought was about having separate QR codes. What was the motivation? I'm not hearing that it's looking for credit. I'm thinking he's thinking about something else.
Talking about Tom or me?
You.
Oh, well, in general, we have a lot of efforts, but we can't really tie new memberships back to any particular effort. Therefore, we can't really tell which efforts are winners or losers. I agree with Tom in general. We just need to grow the party. And I mean, we could accommodate everybody and just make membership be $10. But what my point was is here's a specific effort with, the goal of both running for governor and bringing in more people. And if the other candidates, actually, I've talked to Tom about allying, for example, in San Diego with the other people along the lines of what Brandon was saying. And if they jointly put out literature to save money and they all have a QR code on there, then we can see the impact of allying and slates and stuff like that. But my main point was, right now we don't know when we get new members. Is it because of Pat Wright's Be Libertarian thing? Is it the Beacon? Is it events elsewhere? We just don't do a good job of tagging any of these, and the more the merrier. I'm all up for that. But there's a diversity in the kind of outreach efforts, and if we don't tag them, then we don't really know which ones worked and which ones didn't. So that was my point on attribution.
And it's probably worth noting, too, that this doesn't in any way restrict Tom Woodard from throwing this code hither and yon and all over the state. It's just a function of what we do with the information on the back end as we receive the information. Yeah. Okay. Any further questions or comments on that? Mimi, are you raising your hand?
No, I didn't think I did.
No, you didn't. I'm sorry. I thought I just saw you physically wave at the camera, so I just wanted to make sure what was going on.
Oh no, I'm just trying to do other stuff as I'm
okay,
talking.
fair enough. All right, so if there is no
no,
further
I only use the controls.
All right, if there's no further commentary then on this motion, then is there an objection then to this amended motion? Okay, all right, then we'll go ahead and oversee the creation of an introductory membership rate for the Woodard campaign, and then other endorsed candidates can potentially get their own unique ones. Dave can deal with the attribution on the back end.
You have to do the main motion, though.
That was the main motion.
You only did the amendment.
I think he asked for objections.
Oh, yeah,
your
you're
motion,
right. Never mind.
and there were no
objections. Yeah, we disposed of the
that,
amendment.
I take that back.
All right, fair enough. Okay.
I'm bad. Okay.
So, well, we're coming up on 9 o'clock. So I think that disposes of Dave's thing. Okay, so I
Thank
have
you.
here commit. You bet. Thank you, Dave. I have here committee reports as needed. Is there a committee report that we have some stuff here from June, but June is not here to follow up on any of that. So I'm going to go ahead and skip those tonight. I have a
No,
spot here for
I've
Web
got
IT.
it.
Do you want to talk about that, Mimi?
Yeah, no, I do have, I do want to do the website committee because there's a reason for it. So
Okay.
I sent it out. I hope that you guys read it. The only really big thing, so there's been, a few things that have happened since our last meeting. We've got texting, we've got a bunch of other stuff. But the one thing that I just want to mention is that when I was treasurer, I was able to still access the Google Workspace to be able to do the backend DMARC, DNS, DKIM stuff. And I'm going to be passing that over to the treasurer. In the past, we had another thing, which was it@ca.lp.org, which took care of that kind of stuff. I think that we need to reinstate that because we need to be able to do that backend stuff because there's still stuff that's going on with that. So I would like to make a motion to approve I believe it's $84 a year to reinstate the it@ca.lp.org user so that we still have the access to be able to do that. And that would be given to whoever is the website IT committee chair. So that's my motion.
So we'd be adding a user. I think we presently have, what is it, 8?
Yes, and it would
users?
be adding one extra user, which would be $84 a year.
If Maria is no longer in charge of the website, who is?
Right now, she is still the webmaster, and that's
That's not what
I'm
you said.
talking
You
about
put
right
out an
now.
email saying she was not.
Yeah, that's.
This is not my motion. This has nothing to do with.
Hold on though. Let me just look here real quick because we have a user account called LPCA Webmaster.
Correct.
So that's
it@ca.lp.org.
okay.
I'm locked out, which is fine.
This would be not just Webmaster. This would be just all back-end Google account tinkering.
All right. Well, I'm locked out, and that's fine because you can only have one person in charge, and too many fingers will ruin the recipe. But who is the finger?
That's your question.
Okay, so
who is getting the Webmaster email?
Right now, it's still Maria because that's the next. Okay, so in my report also, I talked about the fact that she's exhausted that particular
right. That's what you
aspect
said
of her job, and so the CSC needs to determine if they want to do the ongoing maintenance. At which point she would still be that, but that's not this committee.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Not at all.
Wait. The CSC, the Candidate Support Committee. What does that have to do with the website?
Thank you.
It has to do with it because our website supports candidates. The unrestricted.
Sure, but we have a website committee, an IT committee, and that
totally separate.
But
they're
I think
separate two things.
But the website information technology committee is more logical to handle the website than the candidate support committee.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. So
because your question doesn't make sense.
Okay, well, hold
the
on.
The answer doesn't make sense. It's a simple question. Who is in charge of the website?
I think the answer to that is presently Maria.
No, she said specifically not. The contract has expired.
Can I answer?
Sure.
Can you?
Please. Okay, let's let her answer, Pat. Okay. Who is in charge of the website? Maybe?
Okay. Currently, the website IT committee is in charge of the website. The executive committee, approved a proposal for her to do what she's done so far. If anybody had read my report, they would have seen that she's actually fulfilled that part of it. The second part, which has been always part of it, is the ongoing maintenance. The reason why that has to be done by the candidate support committee is because our website supports candidates. Per the FPPC, stop shaking your head no, I'm explaining.
I didn't know you
to
could see me.
Just carry on.
Sorry.
Carry on. Go ahead, Mimi.
I'm sorry, it's
The
involuntary.
FPPC says that if we've got two different accounts, which is the restricted and the unrestricted account, the unrestricted account has to pay for anything that supports candidates. Our CSC, which is the Candidate Support Committee, is the fund that supports candidates. Therefore, if we're going to support candidates on our website, we have to do that with the CSC funds, which is why that at that point would be up to the CSC to determine if they want to do that. In the past, we've always had the CSC pay for that particular expense. Right now, we're just now populating the CSC, but the other thing, which is fixing the website, had nothing to do with candidate support, which is why the XCOM was able to approve that. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is campaign finance rules, which we have to go by.
All right, it does not make sense, but I don't think we have enough time to make sense of it right now. So where can we deal with this later?
So my motion was simply to do one thing, which is to approve the it@ca.lp.org user for $84.
All right.
So that we can continue with making sure that we can have our emails function properly for the DKIM and the DNS and all of that. That was my only motion.
All right,
And
I
swear
trust
to God,
you,
I thought there was a
and I
second.
almost understand it, but because I trust you, I will second the motion and think we should do that. But I
Okay.
still am in the dark.
All right, so the motion on the floor in front of us right now is to add this single user to our Google Workspace.
And then Mimi will explain it later.
Okay, but and it has a second, so that's what's going on. Star Child, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I think that if the CSC, for legal government reasons, or if the funds need to come from that, that doesn't mean that that committee needs to be in charge of the entire website. I think that the website committee should be in charge of the website, and it can use the funds from the CSC account if that's a legal issue. I have no problem with that. But I feel like, I'm on the website committee, but I feel, I haven't gotten the information. I want to be able to talk to whoever has the keys to access, make changes to the website. If that's Maria or not, I'm not exactly clear still, Mimi, on whether you're saying it is her or not. I agree with Pat. But whoever it is, their information should be at a minimum given to all the members of the website committee to be able to be in touch with them and ask questions and get things done and help improve the website.
I'm grasping your concern, Star Child. However, I think that is not germane to the motion that we're currently dealing with right here.
Well, maybe not. I had my hand up before the motion was made. I was trying to make
that's
it
fair, but that's kind of where we're at. Paul, do you have something that's germane to this motion?
I'm just wanted to point out that if the money has to come from the CSC funds, that's where it has to come from, and the CSC controls those funds. That's the issue here.
Okay. Does someone have a comment specifically on the addition of it@ca.lp.org as a user account in our Google Workspace?
We need more information, but we're out of time, and I trust Mimi. So if someone can put this in a nutshell for us, because like I share Star Child's confusion and frustration. It doesn't make sense, but we're out of time. We trust Mimi. We know this needs to be done.
Okay. So then, is there an objection to adding this user account to the Google Workspace?
Who is it going to go to, that email address?
I suspect that's probably going to be Mimi in the immediate.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I'm currently the chair of that committee.
Okay.
Well, if you're already getting the emails, do we need a new email address for that?
Well, the function, the issue would be access. The issue would be account access. Not every one of our user accounts can do all the stuff behind the scenes, and so we'd be creating an empowered user.
It has nothing to do with the email. It has to do with back end. That's
right. It's all back end stuff. Yeah, it's back end accesses.
I
All right.
I trust her.
So we're at the vote stage. Is there an objection to this?
I have a question.
Okay.
If,
Quickly, Mike.
Okay, really quick. If this money does have to come from the CDC, then why wouldn't the CDC committee be voting on it?
I get your question, but that is not germane to what we're doing right here.
Okay.
It's a great question.
Right. This
That's a
has
question that
nothing.
needs to get dealt with, but that's not what we're doing right here.
Right.
What we're doing right here is voting to
This-
add a single user to our Google Workspace account, a single user account.
Okay.
So is there
Correct.
any objection to us doing that? Okay. All right, then we'll go ahead and deal with that. Mimi, I'll get with you. We'll figure out how to set that up.
I can do it.
Okay. Just, make sure that you walk me through how to do it. Just
Easier said than done.
Yeah, probably. But okay. All
It's
right.
all done.
So, what else have we got for the website and IT committee then?
That was pretty much it. I mean, there was other stuff that I put in there. We have texting ability. The one thing I did put, actually, this is important because a lot of people had questions about this. One of the main questions was June, right? Which is what we're doing with the Nation Builder / Neon situation. So today, as of today, we've got the NDA from TJ. I
Right.
believe, Lauren, did you?
I have those
countersign?
emails. I saw those emails today. I will get those taken care of tomorrow. Yes.
Okay, so once that's countersigned, I will give him that information. I also have a meeting with our account manager at Neon on Thursday to go over a lot of new things they have, which could possibly give the counties more stuff so that we can actually do an apples to apples comparison between Nation Builder and Neon. And I think that the original intent was that the website IT committee would make a recommendation to this committee to decide what we're going to do, and we need to do that by the end of July. So that was the other part of that, and I know there was a lot of questions about that. So if you read the report, I mean, I put a lot of stuff in there.
There's
but
stuff
I
spelled
think
out in
that
there. Absolutely.
yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff. So that was pretty much it. But thank you for doing that, and that's everything I have.
All righty.
Question?
Is there any Dave? Dave and then Starchild.
Amy, a couple times you said something about Maria's contract was over. So is there a proposal for a maintenance contract for her, or are you bringing that up next month or something?
Again, that would be through the CSC, not through this committee, because the actual maintenance of the website our website promotes candidates. So
Okay.
it's been the long tradition that is through the CSC because that's how we do that.
Okay. And do they
So
have the
that is
authority?
not something here.
Do they have the authority to go ahead and do that, or do they have to bring it back to the executive committee?
Nope. They don't have
Okay.
to bring it back to the executive
Okay.
committee because
Give
that's the CSC.
the CSC controls their own money, so in theory they can spend it.
Okay. Good.
Okay, Starchild.
Yeah, I have an issue with that. I think what's even the point of having a website committee if everything has to be approved by the CSC to make any decision involving spending money on the website? I don't think that's the right way to handle it. I think we should maybe have a rule that says, like, if the website committee votes to authorize something, then the CSC needs to authorize the money for it. Or just give the website committee access to those funds for purposes of the website or something. But otherwise, like, what's even the point of having a website committee? And I would also like clarity on who has access to what aspects of the website. I don't know even what I have access to. I'm not sure if everybody has access to the calendar. That to me is one of the key things. I want all of our members to be able to post events to the calendar on the state party website without having to go through somebody to get that done, so that we can get stuff up in a quick and timely fashion. And to have clarity who can access which aspects of the website, and whoever the main point person is, I would like that person's email and phone number so I can be in communication with them about changes and updates and fixes to website and stuff. So Mimi, please get me that information if that's you or that's Maria. I have your number, but I don't have Maria's. I'm still waiting for that. You said, I think, before you get it to me, but I haven't gotten it.
No,
But
I
it's not
never
gonna be
said
her
I
going
was going to
forward.
give you her number.
Well, you were
I
going to
never
ask
said
her
that.
something because you didn't feel comfortable giving out people's phone or whatever, but
Right.
I don't know if you've even talked to her and asked her to call me. I want to talk to her or whoever has the keys to the website. I am feeling like I'm being kept out of the loop, even though I'm a member of this committee. I want clarity around who has access, and I don't think that the decisions about the website should all be made by the candidate support committee. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, what we
Okay,
need to
thank
do
you.
is have a website committee meeting, which we need to do soon.
I
We
think that
had
sounds
the
very,
last
that,
one, which several people weren't on it. So let's do that and let's go on from
okay.
there.
All right, let's move ahead.
Cool.
Let's move ahead and see if we can bring this thing in inside the 3-hour mark. All right, so we are at the next piece, which is committee appointments. I would like to make a motion that we just keep all the current committees as they are.
Okay, second.
Recognizing, of course, that by making the motion to keep all the committees as they are, that does not in any way preclude anyone else from joining committees that have open seats, et cetera, et cetera.
No more details, second.
Okay.
Be
So
merciful.
that motion is there. That motion's got a second. Commentary. Star Child.
The bylaws committee, which is one of the two that I'm on, is no longer going to be having a role for this next term, I understand. So I would like to be instead added to the convention committee. I have a couple possible spaces that might be useful for conventions, and
Broadly
had
speaking, I think that we don't even form a convention committee until we have approved a bid. And then whoever it is that went to the bid kind of becomes the de facto head of the convention committee. I think that you don't. There's nothing about being on the convention committee that precludes you from going and seeking bids from places about convention.
right. Yeah, understood. But I do think it would be helpful to have an ongoing convention committee, so it's not just all in the hands of whoever gets a bid, but we have some group accountable to the XCOM that is.
I appreciate that you think that, but that is not the way that it works right now. So,
well, I move that we do that we have a convention committee, we make some appointments to it, and that they handle the process related to bids and keep on top of that.
okay, I suspect that that's going to require some flavor of OPM edit. I think that's something that should probably be worked on between now and the next meeting so that we have a clean motion that we are not workshopping
No,
3 hours
actually,
into our meeting.
all you have to do is ask for a second.
And then that does what?
Well, Lauren's
He
saying
made
we
a
need more.
motion, ask for a second. I have a feeling it won't get a second, so we're done.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to seat a convention committee that would be longer term. Yes, is that what I'm understanding you say, Star
I'm
Child?
fine. I'm fine with if you think we need more time to workshop that language, Lauren.
I suspect you need to do that, Star Child.
I want to see us move forward with it. We should have a functional committee system, where it's not just a few people.
It is reasonable for you to think that. Workshop some language, and I'll put it on the agenda for next month. All right, so we have a motion to keep the current committees as they are. That motion has been seconded. Is there any objection to that? All right, so we'll just carry the current committees over, and they can continue their work and meet and so on in the way that they do. That does not in any way preclude new people from being seated or people from moving around. We can take care of that at future meetings. All right, so we have a spot here for new business. I don't know why that's funny, but we're 3 hours in. All right.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to let anyone post an event on the website who's a member. I think I would personally volunteer to help eliminate any spam that gets posted if I'm given access to that. I think it's important for timeliness and getting events out to our members and stuff that we.
That feels like exactly the sort of thing that the website committee is built to handle.
Well, if we have to wait till next month, there's going to be things happening before then.
I don't know that you do. I think if the website committee, which is now the website committee, it's the old website committee is the new website committee.
So give it to Mimi.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. That you guys can have a meeting and you can decide what to do with the calendar.
Lauren, are you telling Sarah Charles just to give it to Mimi? Because I had a blog post and I just gave it to Mimi.
I think that's
reasonable. It took a few days, but okay, it works.
Well, Rebecca just said in the chat that she's handling it, that she'll post stuff to the calendar that people submit.
Is that okay with Mimi? We should ask Mimi.
Then it sounds like either Mimi or Rebecca can totally do
But
that. And then that's fine.
it should be the committee, not just any one person. I
But you
think.
just can't let anybody have access to the website because they will, excuse me, fuck it up. So that's why when I was deleted, it's like, okay, fine, I understand.
Well, if people are simply being able to post to the calendar, I don't think that's going to disrupt.
I don't know if you can allow people only access to the calendar widget.
And exactly how the accesses work and exactly how approval would work is 100% something that needs to get talked about inside
So
the website.
for simplicity's sake, the only person I know who has access to the website is Mimi, and it seems to be working.
Well, Rebecca seems to be saying she has access. I don't know who else may have access.
Then this is a conversation to have with Mimi and Rebecca to sort out exactly who's going to do what. But that's not.
Well, Mimi's the
come before
go-to
this
person,
committee
and that's
today.
fine. But I understand send your calendar submissions to Mimi, and she'll post it in a couple of days. Right, Mimi?
Yes.
All right.
Well,
Dave,
that was enthusiastic.
Dave, you have your finger up. You're muted. You're muted, Dave.
Dave, you're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry. Did you say that you were skipping over June's item? The last one I did have an interest in because it's timely. Were you planning to
yes,
skip
I
over?
was just skipping June's things because June was not here to lead them out.
Okay.
But I think a lot of these aren't anything that requires a motion. I think these are just questions that can be answered to June on email.
It was really just a process question. Like I answered one of the inputs, but it does seem like we get questions and they need to be vectored to the appropriate place.
Sure. I believe I saw Rebecca earlier in the chat volunteer to be that point of contact and do that traffic copying and message vectoring.
Okay, I missed
that. Did I read that right, Rebecca? Did I see that? Is that accurate?
Yes. Yeah, I think the issue is that right now all the forwards, they're going to too many people. Right? Like there's really I don't know, let me just look at any one random one. Yeah. We're getting an email from this guy named John. Newsom takes first step towards control of internet. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's no actionable item on this, but there's really no reason why it should go to both the office, which goes to 4 people, and then the membership committee. So it's going to a lot of people, but like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So we need to fix some of the forms, for example, on the website, or fix some of the email forwards.
Right. That was the goal. Thank you.
Okay.
And the website committee can do that actually. And I think that we can do that by having different options of where people send their things to. Like they say it's going to membership, or they say it. So I think we can fix that.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay. All right. I think that clears us past new business. I have a great big list of action items for next meeting. Does everyone have a sense of their action items for next meeting? Lots of people volunteered or were voluntold to do a whole variety of things.
That would require planning ahead. So no, count me out.
Well, fair enough. Okay. All right.
I have a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn from Mimi. Is there a second?
Yay, Mimi.
Is there an objection to adjourning? We're adjourned at 9:21. Thank you all for your endurance and your attention this evening. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I love you guys.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night. Sleep tight.
Take care, everyone.
Night.
Thank you. Good night.
Dinner, here I come.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording and then I'm going to kill the meeting. So good night, all.